Oh, we're live.
Okay. Okay, we have been having some technical difficulties. I'm sorry for the delay. But we're starting to get things back on track here.
There we go. Yep, I see it on my phone. There we go. Okay, cool. I got the chat open. We're good.
All right.
Sort of.
Well, everything should be fine now. I had to make a custom tier list thing because the ones that I found just didn't have all of the characters that I really wanted. So
Basically, we wanted an excuse also to put a lot of the TV show characters so we could just angrily shove them all into the bottom tier.
yeah, and there was one character who I forgot to put in.
Cucktana.
Yeah, like I got I got several other characters from the show.
It's got like 60 characters. You'll have to forgive him for forgetting Cucktana. So just know preemptively, Cucktana would just be high forbidden tier.
Yeah.
Right behind, well, you probably know who's going to be number one in the forbidden tier chat. If you've seen his Halo episode review.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a couple of birthday messages.
Okay, yes. So thank you. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you for the birthday. Thank you, Tornadic. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. Ronan, don't worry. I don't think you'll need to be playing solitaire to pass the time here. And we have Charlie with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Charlie. Hey guys, what happened? You guys didn't want to invite me? You're the financier, Charlie.
No. See, originally, Charlie, it was an idea that he quickly threw together. I suggested to him that maybe he should do a birthday stream for fun, and he had no idea kind of what to do. This was something we kind of quickly threw together. And at first I said maybe a tier list, and it was kind of, I think, was it just 2-3 days ago? I said we could do a Halo one.
Yeah, and I was making it literally this morning. So
it was very last minute, Charlie. Nothing against you at all. Like, first of all, I think it'd be extremely rude to you, Charlie, to just say, "Hey, drop whatever you're doing and get on stream."
Yeah, we were. Yeah, as I was trying to feel the only ones who could really do this, and like we really didn't even hash out the specific details of this until like last night.
Yeah, right as I
didn't even pick a time.
Right as I was like walking you back out to your car after we hung out, we were like, "What time do we want to do this?" And you're like, "I don't know, maybe 5." we kind of played it very by ear.
Yeah, but I'm glad that some of y'all showed up. I got 9 people showing up on a very short notice, which is great. Absolutely wonderful.
Hello there, chat.
Hello there.
So, should we get started?
Just a second. I'm trying to add Cortana.
Oh, you still trying to see if you can get Cucktana in there?
Yeah, like I of course, right when I was trying to like make this change, I suddenly had a whole bunch of
like 2 minutes before the stream started. He was like, "Oh, let me quickly see if I can get her in here." And then suddenly his internet just decided to freeze up on him. Well, or at least that specific tab that he had the tier list on was like freezing up on him. He's just like, "Oh my gosh, why is this happening?" I was like, "Of course it's happening, because if you need to do something important right before it starts, that's when always the universe says F you and does that." But like, listen, if it's like, as long as you have the thing up.
Yes.
Did you get it? Is she in there?
No, wait. Just not yet. I finally made the picture.
I was gonna say, like, we could start, but we got here. I'll answer this since there's another $5 super chat from Charlie.
Oh, thank you, Charlie.
$5 super chat from Charlie Spur. Arbiter is S plus tier. The benefactor has spoken, and Angel agrees with me. It's true. So you know it's true. Like, no lies. Like, Charlie's telling, like, straight up facts. Arbiter is, like, he is the realest G.
Yeah. Do not worry. Arbiter is going into the top tier.
He is, like, top tier storytelling for a character. Like, I mean, like, straight up, let's say you don't know anything about Halo and you watch the Halo show. Like, you poor soul. But if you are one of those poor souls, please, I recommend you just look at the opening, like, cutscenes from Halo 2 Anniversary. In like a couple of minutes, there is so much amazing storytelling done with just the Arbiter, and so much world building it sets up and character. It's great. It's fantastic. It's mwah. And
it's genuinely impressive how
compared
much
to the entire TV show. Arbiter is amazing. I love his character. He's my favorite Halo character. He's just so cool. And it doesn't hurt that you have Keith David voicing him. I was just like, yeah, my man Goliath.
He's got such an epic voice.
Just, it commands so much respect. It's so cool. Like, God decided to, like, when he looked at him before he sent him down to Earth, he's like, hang on. I need to give you a specific blessing in particular. You will have one of the coolest voices to mankind. There you go. Off to Earth you go.
Okie dokie. I finally got everything put in. Okay, we can finally get...
Oh, it actually worked? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. We actually... Never mind, chat. We do finally got Katana added into the list.
Yeah. It was a trial and a tribulation, but we got it.
All of that effort just to stick her in is just going to deduct even more points, and we already know she's bottom tier.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm ready.
Yeah. Please, StreamYards, don't stop responding.
Oh gosh, are you serious?
You know what I feel like? You remember in Castlevania Season 2 when Sypha is just like, God hates me.
God hates me.
Yeah. I have it.
Come on, universe! It's his birthday.
Just let me have this one thing. This tier list stream.
This is so rude. There's not much I can do on my end. How you doing, chat?
Yeah.
No, Chris, Anomaly is not coming on. Anomaly has work. It was pretty last minute as well, so it's not going to happen. Oh, hey!
Yeah,
look at that.
I tried to invite Anomaly on. Yeah. Yes, here we are. Okay.
Okay, hang on. Before we
officially get started.
Before we start, we got another super chat from Charlie. I will read it.
Oh, wow.
Turn, heretic. Who has taught you these lies?
Yes, and that's very fitting because we have the Arbiter up first because this is in chronological order from what the file name was, and Arbiter comes up first. And I don't think there's going to be any arguments that he is top tier. Absolutely.
Absolute top tier. Like, if I have my way, I would not put any character above him, not even Johnson, as much as I love Johnson.
He is great. So the next one here is these are going to be members of Blue Team. I know you're not as familiar with them.
No, I'm not. I know you've told me a lot of good things, so I'll just take your word for it. I need to get into the books. I actually replayed like the Halo 2 trilogy, the Halo trilogy again. So I replay ODST and Reach again, and then at some point I will finally start listening to the audiobooks for the Nyland trilogy.
Yes. Then everything will be as it should be.
All
right.
But anyways, who do we got first up?
Yeah, this is going to be Fred.
Now, Fred. He's close quarter combat.
Yeah, I love Blue Team. I want them all in top tier.
It's your birthday. I ain't gonna argue, even if I
Yeah.
don't know them as well.
Yeah, Fred's great, and he's like I said, I guess like I said in my video, he is the close quarters combat guy. He's also kind of like the guy who takes charge whenever like Chief isn't around. So
Mhm.
he's great. This is Kelly.
I know
Kelly
you
is
love
amazing.
Kelly.
I love Kelly, and she has never gotten respect in the main content. Even when they bring her in to like the Halo 5, they are like, yeah, we're just
Oh
not going to
yeah,
make
that was. I've only played up to Halo 4, and I'll admit Halo 4 I kind of
trust
checked out on. I didn't
it's
like Halo 4 as much, but I like even Anomaly who loves some. Well, at least okay. I know he loves Halo 4, and I know he likes Halo Infinite, but like he despises and he is 343 apologetic a little bit, but he despises Halo 5. So when Coolman and Anomaly can agree on something, I know to stay away from it.
yeah, like there's a reason why I've compared Halo 5 to The Last Jedi. Like it was literally that much of a shockwave in the fandom that made everyone revolt. It was that bad.
And I'm just like, cool. I don't need to go any further. I'm fine. I'm fine where I am. But yeah.
Oh, Bradley, Fred is Halo Canon's favorite Spartan. My favorite Spartan is Kelly, but I really love Fred. Like all blue team deserve respect. And
Ronan says he kind of wants to get into Halo now. Yes.
yes, absolutely. Get into Halo. You can get it on the Master Chief Collection, which is on PC
Or Xbox One, Xbox
Xbox
Series
One.
X.
It has all games, and it also has Halo.
It's good. It's good. It's good stuff. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's good. All right. So next one we have is Linda. I remember blue team. She is the sniper. There's like to talk about how good she is as a sniper. There was this one part in First Strike where they were fighting the Covenant, and she hung upside down inside one of the Covenant ships and sniped one of the Banshees. She sniped an elite in a Banshee through the sight hole of the Banshee
Dang.
and killed it in one shot. She is a really good sniper.
Yeah, my friend Alexis on Twitter, I remember she was really mad whenever I told her, because after we watched the first episode, and I said she said that she had one fear before the show started, is that it was going to be worse than Halo 5. And then I messaged her the next day, and I was just like, I have bad news. And she was like, oh no. And I said, Chief goes, hey, AWOL the first episode. She's like, no, it's Halo 5 but worse.
It is Halo 5 but worse.
And then I told her all about Silver Team, and then she was like, "What Silver Team?" And I said, "Yeah, there's no Blue Team. They got rid of Fred, Linda, and Kelly, and that really pissed her off because of Linda is like her favorite character in like the lore. Like she adores Linda. She's like, Linda's my waifu. How dare they?" I was like, I'm sorry. I know they got rid of her, and they replaced her with Kai. I think it was. That's the gun gunk girl.
Yeah, it's Kai. Yeah, it's just, and it was so stupid because I was watching the first episode of the show, and then Kai is like standing on the edge, just like, and she takes one shot that entire episode with her sniper, and then does nothing else. And then when she falls off, she drops her sniper and then picks up a pistol and hides behind the rubble and goes, "Help, Chief!" Like, you are so pathetic. It pisses me off.
You know what was really weird? I thought that the Halo show was going to set up that this Kai character was going to be like a kind of love interest to Chief, because of like that's the one Spartan he kind of interacts with more than the others. And then it's just random. I don't want to give it away, guys. I don't want to give it away, chat. We'll rant about it later. But let's see. Grant's wishing you a happy birthday. Hi, Grant.
Yes, Tornadic. Get your PC more memory. Play Halo.
But Ronan, if you want to play Halo, if you want to play Halo, if you happen to have an Xbox One or an Xbox Series S or X, you can get the Master Chief Collection. If you don't have either of them, if you have a laptop, you could just play it on PC. The Microsoft, like all the most, I think like either most or all of their games are pretty much cross-platform between PC or Xbox because the Microsoft Store. It's the Halo, like the trilogy is really good. ODST is really good.
Reach is good.
Reach is really good. In my personal opinion, sorry Anomaly who's listening back on this, I didn't like Halo 4. I don't like the 343 era, especially everything I hear after 4. It's just it did not impress me. So there's that.
Yeah. Hey,
but anyways,
thank you, Wise Wolf, for the happy birthday. And yeah, yes, Fids, it is a wacky show. That is like the nicest way to put it.
That's a little too nice if you asked me, but anyway.
All right. This is Sam. You don't know Sam. He's from the books. Now, Kelly, Sam, and Chief were like a trio of like best friends.
Yeah.
Like they were like really close. I don't want to go because there's a lot more about like Sam in the books. But like Sam is like really like he was like one of the most beloved Spartans within the Spartan group. In fact, if I remember I don't want to go too deep into it because I was like, if I start talking about that, then I have to give context for that. Then there's references to Halo Wars, and there's stuff. I'm like, okay, all right. But just it's like I'll know
take your word for it.
Yeah, I know you haven't gotten into all the lore, and I don't want to like geek out over like, all right, here's like 3 or 4 books worth of lore.
In your defense, you've geeked out about it before I even played Halo, and I'm just okay. It just like flew over my head, and I'm just like, all right, I'll let him nerd out. I have no idea what he's talking about though, and I didn't really absorb any of it other than the fact that you liked the Bungie era, you didn't like the 343 era, and Kelly is waifu.
Yes. So up next we have Captain Keyes.
Oh, Keyes is great.
You
know what? Right there, great tier. Or maybe amazing.
I would put him up in amazing because even though he's not in Halo 1 much, he has a lot bigger role in Fall of Reach and in the Cole Protocol. Like I would have normally just put him in great tier, but because of the books, I'm like, I have to bump him up to amazing tier. Because he's like
won't debate it. I think he left a good impression. I mean, granted, I don't know him as well, but I know he's important to Miranda, and like that kind of got me. Like whenever Lord Hood is like gave her the medal and like talked about like how good her father was, and you just see her like swallow, like trying to hold back a tear as she like salutes, and I was just like, oh, like that immediately endeared me to Miranda.
Yes. We have Charlie with the $10. Charlie, you are absolutely amazing. Our financier.
He's trying to, if he can't buy you birthday gifts, he'll give you money so you can buy your own.
Thank you. So he says, me and Cool Man are going to go mine some deuterium later. The greatest birthday present. A little heavy water never hurt anyone. Yeah, it powers your ships, powers your drugs.
Cool Man. Ronan asks a fair question. He says, does Kelly have a ponytail?
I don't know, actually. They're in their helmets most of the time, so there's not really much description of their hair. I mean, is it
now you're imagining her with one?
Yes, and that's that's good.
For those who don't know Cool Man, he has a thing for women in ponytails.
It looks good.
It's your birthday. I'm not gonna be mean to you.
Thank you.
Or at least I'll try not to.
Okay.
Hey, I'm trying. That's something. Come on.
Okay, so this is Colonel Ackerson, one of the biggest douchebags of all.
Oh yeah, time. He's in the book, right?
Yes, he's the guy behind the Spartan 3 program. He's the guy who was like, "Oh, we're just going to brainwash thousands of children and send them to their death. I'm a good person. I'm better than Halsey."
Now, my question is though, is that intentional?
Yes, he is absolutely meant to be seen as bad.
So if the story intentionally wants you to dislike him, doesn't that mean that's a well-written character?
Yes, and I would say he is great as a character because he absolutely serves the role he has. He is an absolute like prick, but like it is a part of his character. Like his conflict with Halsey, like one of the reasons why he does the Spartan 3 program is because he doesn't like that Halsey is like all the attention. He kind of wants to one up her. He's like, "Oh, you made Spartans? You made 70 Spartans? Well, I'll make thousands of Spartans." Like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's no bueno.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. This is Foehammer. This is Foehammer from Combat Evolved. She's the one who flies you around everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I
So,
completely forgot that that character had a name.
well, yeah. Well, Foehammer is just her designation. She doesn't actually have a name, but like she is an.
Oh, I thought that was like, like like somebody in the military. Their last name is Foehammer.
Foehammer would be an amazing last name, though.
I totally like. You could tell me that that was her last name, and I'd be like, yeah, I believe you.
So here's the thing. I like her a lot, but she is only a minor unnamed NPC. So
How about decent? Decent's fine.
yeah, he's
Like,
decent.
Like decent's like still helpful.
Yeah. Bradley Rutledge. The Spartan 3s are basically like grunts to the UNSC. I think they're above grunts, but they did use grunt tactics when they use them. They'll send hundreds at a time into a mission, and they're basically mostly equivalent to a Spartan 2 in terms of the augmentations they got. Maybe not quite as good, but like they just send them out in mass at once, and then they'll just like destroy everything, and most of them don't come back. Well, there are a few that survived, and you get to follow some of them in the books. I like those characters. Oh, Tornadic says, I know you hate 343, but what do you think about the Spartan 4 program?
Ooh, maybe we should get on that whenever we cover.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll have to wait till we get. Okay, Tornadic. I promise you, we'll talk about the Spartan 4 programs as soon as we get to the Spartan 4 character.
Yeah, and then we can appropriately apply commentary.
Yeah. CT, you mean Bayhammer. Wink, wink. Wise Wolf. Wifo Hammer.
Ah, fair enough, gentlemen. Fair enough.
Absolutely valid. So, we have Gravemind.
I would put Gravemind, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, amazing. I would put him top tier, but I'm still sad that Halo 3, he's not a character that I could actually fight.
Yeah, I would have loved to have like a fight where you get to like burn him to the ground.
Oh, but like he is so cool. Like, and I'll be honest with you, chat. There was a quote that I remember floating around Tumblr when people were talking about quotes like that came from material you wouldn't expect to come from something, like that people were like, this is like one of the rawest lines I've ever heard in any media. And it's come from like this like first person shooter, and it came from freaking Sonic 06. It came from freaking Game Grumps playing Sonic, like things like that. Like people were talking about these raw lines that you're like, why? And it came from this of all things. And I didn't know, like all I remembered is that line that somebody said, here's a raw quote that you won't believe that came just like from a video game instead of like some Shakespearean tragedy. And the line was, I am a monument to all your sins. And I was like, oh, that's such a raw quote. And then suddenly I was going through like Halo with Coolman, and I was like, oh, that's from him.
Yeah.
I was like, it's such a freaking awesome line. I am a monument to all your sins. I was like, dang! Like, what a great first impression.
Yes.
Yeah, Wise Wolf, I am a monument to your tears.
Grant, don't you worry. Miranda is going to be going into top tier.
Which Miranda is, well.
Should be pretty obvious. So,
well,
Guilty...
cool, man. Oh, Guilty Spark, honestly, I love Guilty Spark.
Yeah. Great.
I kind of love him a little bit more than Great, but you know what? It's your birthday. Where do you think he belongs?
I think I'd have to put him up because he isn't just entertaining, he is also like one of the most influential characters across the Halo trilogy. Like he is really important.
Oh, a reclaimer.
Yeah.
I
You
am 343 Guilty
Guilty
Spark.
Spark. Yeah. You are Forerunner.
I love Guilty Spark. He's so like his delightfully cheerful voice, and then when he goes like crazy on you for not doing his way is like actually eerie. He's just this
Yeah.
little ball with the light.
Yeah. Yeah, Ronan, you know what? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Wheatley in Portal 2 had some inspiration from Guilty Spark, especially because he's also a little AI ball.
Halo's actually back in the day was insanely influential.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like if I remember correctly, I don't remember who, but somebody in the Guerrilla Games when they were making Horizon Zero Dawn, like when they were listing influences, like while they were making the game, Halo was one of them. And like it's not a first person shooter game, but it was just in terms of like its lore, its world building. And I could see that while Horizon, I still think 1 and 2 of the Horizon games overall, like if I'm going to be completely honest, they're all right. I'm not going to say they're the amazing thing on earth, but in terms of world building, it's pretty immense, and it's like it's a lot of interesting stuff in the lore and the world building. I like the characters, but I think its strongest asset is the world building it's built for them. And if somebody like on the team said Halo was one of their inspirations, I believe them because Halo's got amazing world building in the Bungie era. Like I was just like, holy cow! Like when Cool Man's like, play this with me, and I'm like, first person's not normally my thing, but sure. And then as we're playing it, I'm like, this is some top tier sci-fi like world building. This is actually really cool.
Yeah. Okay, up next, I have various different versions of Cortana.
Yeah, I told him as a joke we need like almost every version of Cortana. Like it'd be really funny.
Yeah, so we have Halo 1 Cortana, Halo 2 Anniversary Cortana, and this is Halo 3 Cortana. So we'll get to
Honestly, I would have to say because Cortana leaves such a strong first impression in Halo 1. Like she's almost like the life of the game because of Chief is very stoic and she's the one that plays off him. Like
Yeah.
I love her a lot. She's definitely somewhere in between amazing and top tier. Maybe high amazing.
Yeah, I'll put her
right above Keys. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, and then this is Halo 2.
Top tier.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm putting her. I would say put her right next to Arbiter.
Yeah, and then this is Halo 3 Cortana. Which are both good.
Yeah, and like to be fair, Halo 2 and Halo 3 are literally like what, like a day apart.
Yeah, it's like they happen basically back to back.
So it's basically like the same Cortana. There's no time skip. Like that's still the same Cortana. So like I cannot talk enough about how amazing Cortana is. Like Cortana is like if you've ever had those like the video game character sidekicks, like the one that's kind of like the guide to your character. Zelda is probably one of the best examples of a character that's like your sidekick. Like they have a ton of sidekick characters for Link. You got Navi, the King of the Red Lions, Tattle, Zelda herself in Spirit Tracks, Midna is the best of all of them. Like so on and so on and so forth. Cortana's kind of like that type of character. She's sort of like Chief's Navi in that regard. But she is got so much personality. She's so fun. She's so entertaining. She's got a lot of great lines. She's so likable. She's got a really cool design. Just all this data of this beautiful woman. She's so smart and she's so human despite being an AI.
Yeah.
I cannot I could probably gush for days about Arbiter and Cortana because they are like some of my favorite characters. I saw what you did.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I have two different versions of Miranda. I have the good design and then I have the bad design.
I know it's controversial because I know some people like the Halo 2 Anniversary Miranda, which is why I'm going to say Halo 2 Anniversary Miranda belongs in great tier.
And then,
Because even if you don't like her design, she's still a fantastically written character. Or maybe amazing tier, because I mean, it's still the same writing with Miranda, even if you don't like her design.
yeah, but I have to deduct points for them unnecessarily changing her design for no reason other than, well, we just want to scan someone's face and we don't want to model the face. So I like, honestly, that's a problem that Blur Studios had with like Halo Wars 2, which they decided, let's just change everyone's design. Hey, that Asian character, let's just make her a blonde lady now. Like,
it was a little weird. It was
weird.
It was a little jarring too, especially because she doesn't have that scar, like on her eyebrow, like you see in Halo 3.
Yeah. Yeah, they just changed her entire design for literally no reason, and I don't.
Because it's strange because it's like a day apart. So Halo 2 anniversary, not Cortana. Why did I say that? Miranda should have that scar, but okay. When we get to a certain other incarnation of Miranda, can we just first gush about Miranda as a character? Because even with the change in her design, Miranda is an amazing character.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Anomaly. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday.
Oh, hey, Anomaly. Miranda is amazing. Like, I adore this character. Like, I cannot stress enough. She is a fleet commander. She commands respect. Like, you want to talk about like all these stupid we need feminist representation. Miranda is like your video game feminist wet dream. Her and Cortana are. They are some really strong female characters. And Miranda is a fleet commander. She commands her own fleet in the military. Like, how more female empowering can you get? She's an amazing character. And, well, I'll save my rant for when we get to a certain TV show version of her.
Yes. So this is Halo 4 Chief.
Annoying.
Yeah. I do not like what they did to Chief. They completely neutered him in Halo 4.
He was kind of whiny.
Yeah, and they were doing that whole thing of, well, you know, Chief never had character until we graced him with character, and it's like,
okay, listen. I'm not somebody with some Bungie era nostalgia, people. I just started playing Halo last year when Cool Man dragged me into it. I don't have nostalgia. In fact, I went into all this stuff pretty fresh. I did not like Halo 4 Chief. It did not feel like Chief. I already liked Chief. I thought he was already a good character. That I got to, and I haven't read the books, so people want to say, well, okay, only the Bungie era books finally started getting. I don't know. I seem to like him just fine playing the trilogy. So I don't know about you guys. I'm different.
Rip you, but I'm built different. All right. Here we have Halo 4 Cortana, and I'm putting her in the heretics. I hate Halo 4 Cortana.
I know certain people who are going to be upset because they love her tits. Gosh, they're so saggy looking.
No, it's like people are like, well, she's hot. Cortana's always been hot. Don't you dare try to be like, this is revisionist history. This is revisionist history.
First of all, the Halo 2 anniversary Cortana, which is funny because that was also done by like the 343 era.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. Look, like she looks amazing. Like, go watch those Halo 2 anniversary cutscenes. That Cortana has never looked more amazing. Yeah, she looks so good. It's the perfect blend of the beautiful cinematics, but it still kept the fact that she's supposed to be digital. She looks digital. Everything about her looks digital.
Yeah, you know, it's literally her Halo 3 design, but just in like super ultra 4K HD.
And it looks so good. I love it.
This is the best Cortana has ever looked. What I hate is that they went out of their way to make her look human here. Like you can't see the data that you see in all the other versions of her. They even made her hair look different. Like, oh no, let's restyle her hair. Let's make her face look different. Like they even made her.
She almost looks like she's wearing makeup too.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I don't like the change. I don't like that they made her super ultra pretty and tried to make her look more human because we're humanizing her. I don't know. She was pretty dang human already from the trilogy. So whatever.
Yeah. Charlie, heresy, cool man. No, this Halo 4 is heresy.
First of all, guys, it's his birthday, so you can't complain. You can complain later whenever it's up tomorrow.
It's my way or the highway. It's my birthday. Yeah, a CT. Cortana was not meant to be easy on the eyes for you from a certain point of view.
I understood that reference.
Yeah, and Tornado, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. Judge Dredd from Dredd is enough proof that you can have someone like Chief, with obviously with his helmet on and be a great character. It's funny because Angel and I just yesterday we're talking about Dredd.
I'll be right back. Phoenix is getting a little bit antsy, so I got to put the dog outside in the backyard.
All right, I'll hold down the fort.
So yeah, you can. And I accidentally pressed mute. You can talk about that while I go do this.
Yeah. I know, guys, if you think Cortana in Halo 4 is hot, then absolutely go ahead. You can think that, but I don't like unnecessary design changes in the same way I don't like that Chief's armor in Halo 4, despite being the Mark 6 armor, is completely different, and there's no explanation other than the fact that 343 wanted to change it. I don't like the fact that Cortana's design was changed, and I just don't like how Cortana is written in Halo 4. I mean, I don't like how much of anything is written in Halo 4, but yeah, like when we got some more Halo 4 characters coming up here, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this design. Like, I feel like this is a design that was changed because they were like, whoa, we want people to more people to like her for general audiences, so we're just going to make her look more human to make her easier to look at. It's just I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Put Screaming 343 guy from Halo 4 in the forbidden list, cool man.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, I was confused of what you were saying, Grant. But don't worry. I know where to put him. Welcome back. Yeah. So next up is Captain Del Rio, one of the biggest douchebags.
Annoying.
Okay.
Actually, no, heretic.
Yeah. Okay. So some people might be wondering why I made a point to put Ackerson in great tier, but I'm putting Del Rio, who's also in conflict with Chief and Heretics. It all comes down to the writing. Because Ackerson,
Anomaly, Hate Man does not hate all things blue.
Look,
we have two Cortanas in top tier.
Yeah.
You're just mad we didn't put Saggy Tits up there.
Yeah.
It's his birthday. He can be Hate Man.
Yes. The Hate Man floweth. But with Del Rio does not have even a fraction of the interesting story to him that Ackerson has. And even though both of the, obviously Del Rio is meant to be disliked, but Ackerson is a character who actually, his whole conflict with the Spartans and with Halsey.
Sorry. Grant brings up a great point. He says, why put Captain Screaming Guy in Heretics tier instead of the Forbidden tier list? Oh, believe me, because that's going to be occupied by a lot of people from the TV show. Bad as he is not worse than what is to come.
Yeah. I want to keep it clear. Del Rio is really obnoxious and poorly written, but he's not the worst in the series. Yes, Del Rio makes no sense as a character, right? Because we can always get worse, and we found out you can. Yeah,
so
no one in the military would ever treat Chief the way that Del Rio does. Just because Charlie with the $2 super chat. I'm pulling my funding. We don't tolerate heresy.
Charlie, it's his birthday. Come on, man. Let him have this at least for today. You can make fun of him tomorrow.
Let me have this day. Yes, I gave the Grant in the chat. Yes, I gave the nickname to Andrew Del Rio, Screaming 343 guy, because he sums up 343 Industries as a whole. Yeah, he actually kind of does, because it's a complete misunderstanding of how to create human conflict within it. Because again, Ackerson is very much in a similar position where he has a military man who doesn't like the Spartans, but he has a reason for it. Del Rio is literally just there to cause conflict.
I guess the other thing is Ackerson is doing this earlier in the timeline, whereas Del Rio is doing this after Chief has saved humanity multiple times, over many years.
Yeah, that's another point, is that this is after Chief has literally saved the galaxy nearly single-handedly, and he's just like, Yeah, he's like, and yeah, you have to listen to my orders, and it's just like, shut up.
It kind of reminds me of Holdo being unrealistically being a douchebag to
Yes.
Poe after Poe literally saved them the day before when he blew up Starkiller Base.
Yeah, that's exactly. He is like Holdo. Yeah, he is. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we have Halo 4 Didac, and I'm going to be honest, he belongs in Forbidden Tier.
He's a stupid character. I did not like him at all when I played Halo 4 the
Yeah.
first time.
On his own, he's just an obnoxious, kind of worthless, bland character. But if you know the lore, it actually gets so much worse because there is a Didac who was referenced in Halo 3, but this is not that same Didac. You see, what 343 did is they wanted the Didac as a villain, but the Didac is the one who he's the one who hit the button on the Halos. You find out about this in the Halo 3 what are they called?
I'm just petty. I hated his boss fight. I'd rather be fighting Tartarus again and having him flinging me off the sides.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and as a character, he makes no sense. And in order to try to make him the Didac, 343 was like, well, he's the original Didac. The other Didac is like a clone of the Didac who is like different than the Didac. And I'm like, why are you making this so complicated? And by the way, you need to read an entire trilogy worth of books to understand his backstory. And if I remember correctly, I think was it only one book was out at the time when Halo 4 came out?
Yeah, as Ghost said, his entire motivation isn't external material.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I want to emphasize this because I am petty. His boss fight was lame.
Yeah.
I prioritize especially having fun gameplay, and it was not fun fighting him. I was like, this is stupid. I just want to get this over with.
Yeah. Okay, so Lasky, and you know I hate 343, but I'm going to say
decent.
He is in the decent. Lasky is not an amazing character, but he is nice. He is a decent guy, and that's enough to put him above all the other 343 characters.
Well, and he's like not bogged down by too much bad writing. Sure, he's not amazing, but like, hey, he served his purpose and he functionally there's nothing wrong with him. And he's at least like, you know, like you said, he's at least nice and he's not annoying. I know these are not like the nicest things. Like you're like, you could get more profound. It's like, he's good. He's a good boy. We'll put him in decent.
Yeah. The librarian goes right next to the Didac in the forbidden section. That stupid fish lady comes in there with this massive info dump and is like, yeah, Chief, you're actually like a prophesized chosen one.
You're the chosen one. Ooh, we're gonna get into that when it comes to the show. That is stupid.
Okay, Sarah Palmer. This should be the last of the Halo 4 characters.
Forbidden.
I'm putting. Oh, I don't hate her that much.
Oh, I hate her that much. I think she's so freaking annoying. Okay, how about compromise heretics?
Yeah, because the thing is they were very clearly trying to create another character to replace Johnson with him gone.
When they stupidly killed him off.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the problem is they didn't. 343 does not understand why people liked Johnson. So they were like, well, he made snarky comments, right? So let's just have another character who comes in and starts making snarky comments and insults.
Well, I mean, like it's so funny because if they retconned other stuff that Bungie did, they easily could just retcon Johnson's death and bring him back.
Yeah, like that's what I did in my own rewrite of Halo 4. But it's like, you know, it's like
plug and you can watch those videos. He's got them in his topic of the week videos.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it's with Johnson. It's like, look, if you're ending the series at Halo 3, then yeah, Johnson dies. But like if you're continuing on, it's kind of hard to have Halo without Johnson because he brings
like and it's really funny too about Johnson's death because of when I've talked to people that are like okay, that are even okay with Miranda's death, which I found her death was stupid. But even people who are okay with her death, even those people have been like, yeah, Johnson's death was really stupid. Like, so there's even a lot of people who love Bungie who are like, yeah, they shouldn't have killed Johnson.
Yeah, it was really dumb.
And to add insult to injury, they created Palmer to replace him. Like, no, you will never be as cool as Johnson. Sorry.
And it's so annoying because they got they got freaking FemShep to voice her. It's Jennifer Hale
Oh
voicing.
yeah, Jennifer Hale. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's like you got this great voice actors, and and this is the thing. I think they were
I guess
expecting.
this would be a great time to bring up the Spartan 4s, like was asked earlier.
Yes, because she is a Spartan 4. The Spartan 4 program as a whole, I don't dislike the idea because I can imagine that that the UNSC would want Spartans because by the end of the war, like they have no Spartans left. Like the most of them are dead. The rest that are out are literally missing in action. Not like Spartans never die missing in action, but
But
like
actually
action.
missing,
Yeah,
like Chief. Chief is actually missing in action, but they thought he was dead.
yeah, blue team is missing in action. They're stuck on Onyx. Then you have, I believe, gray team is out in the middle of nowhere, just doing their own thing, so no one knows where they are. So it's like you have several Spartans, but they're just gone. And even the ones you do have left, it's like there's very few. So I can see why the UNSC would want to create a new group of Spartans, but
Especially like if another like type of covenant comes on the horizon, or if the insurrectionists decided to crawl up the woodworks, to fight back. Sorry, I was like trying to hold in a burp because I'm drinking soda.
That's all right. But like the thing is that I can even understand why the Spartan 4s would not do like they obviously don't want to do the kidnap children and turn them into super soldiers. So all their augmentations are done as adults in a voluntary thing. Okay, that makes sense. The biggest problem with the Spartan 4s is that they're being treated as being equal to the Spartan 2s, despite the fact that one, they don't have nearly the same significant amount of augmentations and enhancements, and two, they don't have Mjolnir armor. Like they have power armor, but it's not Mjolnir armor. So they can't be as strong because if they had armor that was more powerful, that put them on same level as the Spartan 2s, it would literally kill them. Like that was the thing. The Mjolnir armor existed before the Spartans got them, but no one could use the armor because it was so freaking strong. It literally would kill people, a normal person who tried to use it.
Sorry, but to your point, Ronan asks, how does the UNSC function without Spartans? They function. It's just Spartans are their super soldiers. Like they're basically like weapons, like really good weapons. An army can still function as long as it has an army, but like once you lose like that really good weapon, you're not as strong. You still can defend yourself, but you're a little bit vulnerable. Like it's like, let's say a military, they still have their, like their jets and missiles and and whatnot, but then you take away their nukes. They're going to feel a little vulnerable without those. Even if they have all their other stuff that's really good, they're going to feel a little bit vulnerable without that weapon if something worse came to worse and they needed that little insurance. And that's kind of what Spartans are. Insurance.
Yeah, like even before the Spartans existed, they already had an elite group of soldiers. That's the ODSTs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Bradley just brought that up in the chat too. They still got ODSTs, which are the next best thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a reason why Buck's description in was it Reach when you have it, but anyway, he has a description of truly if he was any better he'd be a Spartan, because the ODSTs and this is actually in the lore, if you know the lore, this is actually one of the biggest reasons why the ODSTs hate the Spartans, because for years for decades, centuries probably, I don't know the full length of it, but they used to be the top tier soldiers. They were the most elite of the elites. And then the Spartans come in out of nowhere and they're better than them in every single way.
Yeah, so they're a little bit jealous.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and Bradley says makes a good point about Palmer that I've been wanting to mention after we finished our talk about Spartan 4s there. I thought Palmer was okay in Halo 4. It's in Spartan Ops where she gets annoying. Yeah. That's the thing, is I'm sticking in the full the context. Spartan Ops is where she goes from being like annoying to like really awful.
Yeah, so the thing is, we only have one picture. Unlike Cortana, which we got multiple versions of her, kind of to be funny, because there's so many different models for her. But With Palmer, we just have one picture. So with that picture, we're judging her from the totality of her character. Kind of like how he's got one picture of Keyes, but he's not judging Keyes on just Combat Evolved. He's also using the books.
Yeah. Oh, and what Ghost said, I would make the Spartan 2s tankier with the Spartan 4s being more agile. Actually, no, the Spartan 2s would still be more agile because they...
Yeah, I mean, you got Kelly. Kelly's the fastest.
Yeah, Kelly's the fastest Spartan. And she's, like, even without her armor, she is incredibly fast. The Spartan... Like, here's the thing about the Spartan 4s. And I'll talk about how I handle the Spartan 4s in my rewrite of Halo 4 and the trilogy. But the Spartan 4s cannot be even close to as strong as the Spartan 2s. If you have them take their augmentations as adults, they don't get nearly the significant amount of augmentations, and their armor isn't as strong. They are going to be super soldiers. They are going to be way stronger than the average person.
Yeah, like better than ODSTs.
Yes, but they will not be on the same level as a Spartan 2 in any capacity.
Well, for one thing, Halsey didn't make them. I think they even make a point because of Halsey she doesn't like the Spartan 4s either.
Well, yeah, and like she didn't make the Spartan 3s either, but she sympathizes with them. But like,
yeah, well, considering what happened.
Yeah, but like with the Spartan 4s, the thing is they wanted to just immediately repopulate the Spartan program. So, but the problem is that they didn't do the right thing. Like the way I write the Spartan 4s in my own rewrite is that it was mostly done as a publicity stunt post-war. That they got a bunch of these the top tier soldiers. They gave them enhancements. They gave them really nice armor, but they're nowhere close to a Spartan 2. But they're there to be the new like propaganda tool to keep people's hopes up.
Because that's what the Spartans are also there for. They're not there just to be like amazing weapons. They're also propaganda. But like propaganda for like positive morale boost. Like you showed it in your recent Halo video of talking about the show, like when you showed that cutscene of like all those beaten down soldiers or Marines, I should say, seeing Chief and like suddenly, like amazingly, like they're like, oh my goodness, it's like there's a Spartan, it's a Spartan, and then they're like, guys, we're gonna be okay now because a Spartan's here.
Yeah,
like it's like having just a Spartan just there. Like just standing there, it does like wonders for the Marines. Like they don't even have to do anything. They just stand there and they all feel like we can survive this because a Spartan is here.
Yeah. And actually, Bradley, something that you're pointing out that it fits right into my rewrite. I do like the idea of some of the Spartan 4s joining the program as a way to honor Chief's heroism. Well, it would be to honor the Spartans, period. And the way I write Sarah Palmer is she would actually, instead of making snarky comments at Chief, she has this like this intense intense fangirl hero worship of Chief, because Chief is the hero that saved everyone, so she just adores him and like practically worships the ground he walks on. So it's like, yeah, like that would make sense. The Spartan 4s they're all soldiers. They all would adore the Spartans. They would all be like bowing to Chief for saving them. But like
twice.
But it's like in my rewrite, this is when I include like the Prime Warden, who's one of the main antagonists. He wants a good fight. He's a Blood Knight character, and he wants to fight the demons that he had heard about from the Covenant. And when he fights the Spartan 4s, he wipes the floor with them and kills them. And he's like, this isn't the fight I was promised. It's not until he fights Chief where he's like, no. You're the demon they talked about. So that's actually going to be a big thing about like when I write Sarah Palmer, her arc is realizing just how much she was being used in that, and the fact that the Spartan 4s were kind of overpromised, and they never expected them to have to fight in another intense like conflict that would require Spartan 2s. So it's like it actually gives them a lot of depth, and it even makes Sarah Palmer completely likable in that regard, because you actually get to see that she may try to do things that Chief can, but she can't. She physically can't. She lacks his augmentations. But like that's the problem that I have is, and again, we're going to talk about this with the other Spartan 4s and in Halo 5. But like they try to make it seem like they're just all on par with Spartan 2s, and that's terrible.
Heretic.
Now this isn't just Buck. This is Halo 5 Buck.
Heretic.
And I'm putting this in Forbidden because not only is it bad, but like he is an ODST. They the books complete, like the Halo 5 and the 343 books completely wiped out his ODST pride just because they wanted to make him a playable character in Halo 5. So they just made him a Spartan. I'm like, no, you made an ODST into a Spartan. That is one of the most offensive things you can do to an ODST.
I like Buck.
Yeah, Buck is entertaining. And yeah, Ghost is saying he's the only decent one in Osiris. He's the only character in Osiris. The rest of them are just nothing. Buck at least has Nathan Fillion's acting to fall onto, even if his character is getting completely butchered.
I mean, it is Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Now, Halo 5 Chief is Heretic.
Absolutely Heretic. While Halo 4 Chief is annoying, Halo 5 Chief is Heretic.
Yes, he is worse as a character. And the fact that it's funny because he's supposed to have been moving on from Cortana in Halo 4, right? Is that supposed to be his arc? And then in Halo 5, he's like, I'm going to betray everyone to follow Cortana.
I'm going AWOL! Like that, nobody liked that. That's like whenever in the very first episode of the TV show, whenever he like goes AWOL, people are like, no! We hated that in Halo 5! Why are you doing this in the very first episode?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the thing is there's no reason why he needed to go AWOL. He could have just gone to the UNSC and is like, hey, I got these crazy visions that Cortana might be alive, so might be a thing. And then they would have been like, all right, Chief, go find Cortana. And then there would be, boom, no drama. That's it. They wouldn't have any drama. But okay, whatever. yeah, Ghost. Yeah, and they explain the reasoning in the books is that it's due to the rookie dying. Yes, I hate the book. I hate that book so much.
I do not acknowledge that. Rookie lives on. Rookie is a hero.
Yeah. I do not accept any lore that was created post Halo Reach. Like the stuff like the all the books that were written after that in the 343 era, they're all bad. They're all bad.
Oh boy. Next.
Halo 5 Cortana. It's
forbidden.
Yeah.
Forbidden.
Forbidden.
They assassinated her completely. Like, she's worse than Halo 4 Cortana. They literally flat out made her a villain. Forbidden. No contest. Forbidden.
Yeah. Yeah, she's and like her reasons for villainy make no sense.
They brought her back from the dead and then made her evil.
Yeah, and they brought her back immediately after they killed her off. Like, you guys couldn't even wait. Gosh dang it. Like, it's after Halo 4 they realized, wait a minute, crap, we need to have Cortana stay around.
I'm so glad that we have agreement in the chat. Forbidden, straight to hell, banned.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it makes zero sense. And then the way they did it was stupid. Like, and I was talking to Anomaly about this like last week or something, that if they wanted to bring Cortana back after Halo 4, they would have to have a long-standing arc about it. Like, maybe she didn't die in Halo 4, but her like code was fractured, and you would have to like
Chief is like trying to restore it, and he like, has to go certain places here and there, slowly but surely, to repair her.
Yeah, and I would say you would have to spend the next 2 games building up to her coming back, because if you killed her off, I'm sorry, even if I hate that,
I would say you could even do it in one game. Like, say she's absent from Halo 5, and the entirety of Halo 5, he's trying to find fragments of her, and then like maybe the stinger after the ends of the credits is like suddenly you just hear her voice.
Yeah.
Like, just briefly, and just suddenly, I don't know, maybe she can do a callback to something in the trilogy, like where she says a line. Yeah. But that's the stinger to like for Halo Infinite. It's like,
you found me.
Yeah, basically something like that. And then just boom, like that would be kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, and that yeah, it's like, and that's the thing is, that's the thing is, if you gave me Halo 5 and you told me I could do anything I wanted in Halo 5, but I just couldn't contradict Halo 4, like, I would make an arc about bringing Cortana back, but you would have to make it significant. They would have to go through hell to bring her back, because you can't just snap your fingers. All right, now she's back because
she's evil.
Yeah, and now she's evil. I'm like, look, you guys, they already had all this conflict set up in the books in Spartan Ops, in all this other crap that 343 was doing. They could have set that up, but then they killed their main antagonist, Jul 'Mdama, in the first mission of Halo 5. What?
Oh, we got a super chat.
Oh, super chat from Charlie. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Charlie. You are amazing. The ODST see the Spartans as freaks, inhuman freaks. Can you imagine what Buck's colleagues would say? He'd be a sellout. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
that's the best way to put it. In any ODST that became a Spartan would be seen as a sellout by the other ODSTs. Like, oh, so you couldn't make it. You couldn't make it, so you had to get enhancements.
Dare would probably not be happy with him.
No, she wouldn't. Like, she likes Buck the way he is, and this is Buck changing just for the sake of it. Like, look, I'm all miserable because my team is gone. Like, my protege is dead. I was betrayed by my own friends. Now I'll just become a Spartan. I'm like, what? No!
That was dumb. No,
Yeah.
Don't. They massacred my boy.
Yeah.
I would say annoying.
Yeah, annoying. Like the what they've done to Halsey, yeah, is really obnoxious. Like, and this is the thing in the books, especially the crap written by Karen Traviss. I don't want anyone defending Karen Travis's books in Halo. Like, they really try to push.
In general, she is a terrible writer for Star Wars as well, guys.
Yeah, well, and they really try to push she was wrong for doing everything she did. I'm like, I hate it because in the Nylon trilogy, he writes everything in such a way that makes her a complex character that doesn't immediately say she's evil, because she's not. In fact, she deeply regrets a lot of the stuff she had that she had done, even if even if she like had reasons for it. Like, and it's because of the creation of the Spartans that that humanity was saved.
Did you see what Ghost said in the chat?
What? Oh, Lucas booted her to 343's offices. Yeah. Well, yeah, like, in fact, I know the other writers in the Star Wars EU hated Karen Traviss because I know she was writing in this series. I don't remember what series it was, but she derailed like everyone's like established plans just to write her own crap, and then killed off Mara Jade because she was angry that people liked her more than her own.
There's a reason I kept calling her the proto Rian Johnson.
Yeah, she really is. Yeah, and
Karen, she's Karen Johnson.
Yeah,
her name even is Karen.
Yeah. And one of the things that really annoys me is that she was the one who wrote the books that picked up from the Nylon trilogy. They didn't get Eric Nylund back to write a continuation. They didn't get other writers. They picked Karen Traviss, one of the most vindictive, selfish, and arrogant hacks that has ever written a book. And it just...
To give the TLDR, we don't like her.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Halsey, old Halsey.
Yeah, and they just rapidly aged her for no reason. Like, we'll get to real Halsey in a little bit, but it's like they aged her like 10 years.
No, I would say like 15 years, like, because it's supposed to be how many years since Reach from Halo 4?
Let's see. It's like what, 4 years after? Okay, yeah, it takes place 2557. So it's 5 years after Halo, like after this picture. This is 2552. So it's 5 years after this. So this is her after 5 years.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, especially because this is 500 years from our future. So already, like, medicine and stuff like that would be like way more advanced. I mean, Johnson's actually older too, but he still looks really young. And Halsey did as well in Halo Reach. Like, so it makes no sense that they rapidly aged her, because suddenly they looked at her age, like her actual age, and it's like, oh, she should look older. Like, okay, but she's a woman 500 years in the future. She looks appropriate for a woman 500 years in the future. Like, and you also got to take into account what she looked like in Halo Reach. Like, why did you suddenly make her look that old, especially when she was living in a really nice place after Halo Reach?
Yeah, it's just so dumb. Now, Jameson Locke. Like, I want to hate him more, but like, he doesn't have a character.
Yeah, he's kind of a nothing character.
Yeah, like, and the fact that they made him like the main character of Halo 5, and like you didn't even make him interesting.
Would he be then top heretic? Because there's really they made him the main character, not Chief.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, trying to replace Chief with him, and I honestly feel like they wanted to do that more. Like they wanted to have Locke going forward, but then everyone hated him so much they were like, actually that was just one game. We're just going back to Chief. Hey guys, look, it's the Mark 6 armor like it's supposed to look. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Olympia Vale. I'm going to put her into annoying category. And I hate that. I really hate it because she's voiced by Laura Bailey. Like,
I knew you were gonna say that. Like, soon you're like, I hate that, and I'm like, it's only gonna be because of Laura Bailey. And right when you said that, I was like, yep, there it is.
her character in concept is interesting because she was a soldier who was really into Sangheili culture and the elite culture, and became like sort of an ambassador and like worked with on Sangheili, which I'm like, that's actually really interesting. But like her backstory is just like, oh, like when she was a kid, she just learned alien languages. What? Like she's kind of honestly sort of a borderline Mary Sue character, and I'm
sorry, Arodian made a comment.
Mhm.
It must hurt to put. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's Ronan's comment. It must hurt to put Laura Bailey in a role low tier. Yes, Ronan. It's painful for him.
It does.
Arodian said Laura Bailey also voiced Abby in The Last of Us 2.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Laura Bailey is one of Cool Man's favorite voice actors. And like, so like when that happened, like you have no idea, like the immediate 5 stages of grief he kept going through in a circle. He kept circling all the way back and then kept going through it over and over again. And I was just like seeing this spiral of how much it upset him. And I'm just like, oh, poor Cool Man. It's like the worst character. The worst character in video games, and it's like one of his favorite voice actresses voicing her.
I hate it so much. What?
You don't know pain until like one of your favorite voice actor voices a character you despise, and you find that out, and you're like, why did you do this to my favorite?
Yeah, she's in so many things, and it's just like I hate it when she's in something really bad because it's just like, no, I want to like Vale, I really do, but like she's so bad in the games, and she like in Halo 5, she is like a nothing burger of a character, and then in the books, she's just like really dumb, and I'm like, look,
Wolf has a different theory for why you put her in annoying tier.
She would have been heretic, but the fact that she's voiced by Laura Bailey given her an upbringing. Well,
I mean, subconsciously you could be correct, Wolf.
You could be correct. You're psychoanalyzing me on my love for Laura Bailey. All right. We have
Halsey!
Real Halsey is top tier, and she gets to go right next to her daughter. Which, by the way, guys, Miranda is Halsey's daughter. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And here's Keys and Halsey did the Freckle Frackle, and they made Miranda.
They made Miranda.
Yeah. There's actually a journal entry in Halsey's journal that you get with the collector's edition of Halo Reach, and she literally is talking about how she met Keys again for the first time in years at some event, and then she was just like, I don't know what came over me, but it was nice. It was just like, oh,
like, all right, Keys.
Yeah, bow wow, my man.
We'll get into this also more when we get into Show Halsey about like why Halsey is a great character, but just there is a lot of nuance with Halsey. Like she's a very morally gray character, but she's still got but she's a well-written morally gray character. And like let's just say if you were just playing Bungie era, she's great in Halo Reach. She's just very straight to the point, extremely smart. Like I really liked her. And also she's voiced by Jen Taylor. And for those who don't know, if you haven't played Halo, Cortana is actually based on Halsey's brain. So like she's sort of like basically like a digital clone of Halsey. So Cortana looks like a young Halsey. So in a roundabout way, she's kind of also like Halsey's daughter. So that's why
Yeah.
she looks almost identical to her. And
Yeah.
so the reasons why Cortana is so amazing all comes from Halsey.
Yeah.
And that's another reason that adds just another layer to Halsey. Like she's interesting. She's a really interesting character, and I like that there's a lot of nuance to her. It's like she's done a lot of terrible things, but she also shows a lot of like remorse for it. And she's extremely intelligent. And also, again, you want to talk about female empowerment in fiction. And this is a first-person shooter game, so a game that is mostly played by obviously guys. Like not a whole lot of girls play Halo. I am very much in the minority, and I'm okay with that. Like, talk about though, like you're putting this like amazing, smart, powerful woman who created the Spartans. Like humanity would be dead without Halsey.
Yeah. She is like the most important human in all of humanity.
Like, so she's great, and we'll rant more about how they did her dirty.
Yeah,
later,
because
we're coming to it soon. I see her coming up after a certain other horrible thing.
Cheeks.
Forbidden, straight forbidden. No, put him above.
No, I was trying to.
straight top tier forbidden. What they did to this man. Look at how they massacred my boy. Oh,
Master Cheeks is like terrible in every conceivable way. Like there is nothing of Master Chief in this character.
It is Jake Skywalker all over again, and I don't know, maybe because the wound is fresh, but it almost feels like it's worse. It could just be an equal and bad, but the wound is just so fresh that I'm just more mad at it right now.
Yeah.
That is not Chief. Show Chief is not Chief. He's not. That is not Master Chief. It's horrible what they did to him. He's just this lame, whiny little pissant idiot.
Well, yeah, and all of his competence and stuff was apparently like he has a chip in his brain and he removes it and then he stops being able to control his emotions. I'm like, I'm sorry, but like there was so much.
He was also trained since he was 6 years old. Like, does all of that suddenly go away just because you took a chip out of your back?
Yeah, it's just so freaking stupid. It's like a complete misunderstanding of about Chief, and we're gonna see this with the rest of these characters, but like in the show at least, that it is a complete and total hatred of Halo.
And the fact that they keep taking off his mask, like they literally went against the very core of Chief. You don't show his face. You don't do it. You don't.
No. Well, yeah, and like I pointed out in my video, in the animated short, The Package on Halo Legends, when they had Chief and all the other Spartans with their helmets off in the briefing room, they showed the other Spartans' faces, but Chief was always just out of frame. You couldn't see his face. There was something blocking it. The camera just was like showing up to his shoulders. You never saw it. And then he put his helmet on. I'm like, that's how you do it. Like, this is the thing. Obviously, he has taken his helmet off at some point because, yes, he obviously takes it off in the books. But, like, there is a difference between a book series where, you know, you actually have to have him out of the suit just for the sake of character stuff. But, like, and then with this, and they constantly take him out of the suit. And they have no regards for his character, because even in the books, Chief doesn't like not wearing his armor. All of the Spartans are like that. You even see
they made a point in Halo 2. Like, everybody's at this ceremony there, and Johnson's like, I told you to wear something nice, and Chief's just like, Chief feels like he's more comfortable in his armor, fully suited up. He does not feel comfortable dressed nice out of his armor. That's Chief.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie with the $2 super chat. Okay, Charlie, I know what you're doing here. So you're telling me the chips are dumb. I'm saying these chips are dumb.
These chips are dumb. I don't have a dog in any fight in regards to the Clone Wars chips, dude. Like, stop. Stop it, Charlie. I see what you're doing. That's bait.
yeah, I'm Mad Max. That's bait. But yeah, it's like it's the thing is like they make Chief and all the Spartans just really stupid and dumb and
insanely stupid. Like, these are supposed to be soldiers that have been born and, well, not born, but bred for this since they were 6 years old, when they were like indoctrinated into all of this. Like, you don't suddenly just erase all that by taking out a pellet from your back.
It's like they were like, well, we want to undo his indoctrination for the story. I'm like, so let's just have it be a chip, and that's it. They just wiped his memories, and that just gets undone immediately in the first episode. I'm like, no, Chief knows, and in fact, I pointed this out in my video. There was literally a trailer for Halo 3 that references Chief's childhood memories when he was on the planet that he grew up on, and he had that girl who he was friends with when they were like 5 years old. And they were looking up at the stars, and then all of a sudden he gets shell shocked back into the battle when he starts seeing his helmet again. And it's like, yeah, Chief knows. In fact, there was this one, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've read it, but there was this little short story where he runs into this other soldier, and she was actually a friend of his when they were kids. And he remembers her, but it's not like he can sit there and reminisce about them because she thinks that John died. He can't go, hey, by the way, I'm actually John. Also, I was kidnapped and turned into a super soldier. You can't just do that. Like, but
plus, like, the last time they saw each other, they were 6.
Yeah, so
it's a lot has happened in between then.
Yeah, so it's like the Chief is like mature enough to know. Ken, I stole it.
Ken,
not cool, man. I want to get laid and commit war crimes with the enemy spy. It's like, but I want to commit war crimes and sleep with the enemy spy. Halsey,
and then die,
and then die, and die.
Oh, cool, man. I have to ask: was like the head writer secretly Kevin Smith?
Oh my gosh.
It's Masters of the Universe Revelations or whatever that freaking show was called all over again.
Yeah, Halo of the Universe Revelation.
Oh,
I think we've
Master Chief's body will be perfect when it fits a woman.
Oh my
I mean, is that not what they did? They turned Chief into the bat suit for freaking Ruby Rose Cortana.
I'm sorry for my banshee laugh.
It's his birthday. I have to make him laugh. I killed him. I killed him, chat.
Oh, okay. Just give me a second.
I killed you like Anomaly killed you with that consume comment when you guys were watching the show together.
Yes.
See, Anomaly, you're not the only one. We both could kill him.
Oh, I'm feeling a little lightheaded.
Speaking of terrible, we got show Halsey Forbidden.
Yeah. And again, I know someone brought this up in the chat. Like they made her blonde like in Halo Legends. I'm like, look, in Halo Legends, at the very least, like that wasn't as offensive. Like, look, in Halo, in the package, I want to like the package so much. But the fact that Halsey in that, despite the fact that she's in her 50s by that point, looks like she's 25 and has blonde hair, despite the fact that she has brown hair. She always has brown hair. Halsey has brown hair. That's what she looks like.
And Halo Reach, Halsey looks middle-aged. Like, even though she's like an older woman, she still looks like a woman more like almost, I'd say, pushing in her 40s rather than
she's like she's like 60 or so. But
it's the future, and like, you know, it's 500 years in the future. I could totally believe that 60 is the 40 is the, like, you know, the new 60. That because of every time, like, humanity is like, because we like live a lot better than people back in the day because of our medicine keeps getting better and better and better.
Well, yeah, and it's like in how in Star Trek: The Next Generation, a character like Picard, who is like 60, is middle aged because people can live to 120, 130. So, like,
So,
what
so
was
I
old?
absolutely I can absolutely believe that a 60-year-old Halsey would look like she's in her 40s. And I think she looks fine. She still looks really good for like her age. And but I can believe it. I can absolutely believe in like the 2500s in our like of our timeline that a woman can look like that when she's 60 years old. Like that's not unrealistic at all. But so this Halsey's also supposed to be the same age. She looks even younger. They made her blonde, but that's the least of the worst things they've done to Halsey.
Yeah, like the fact that they very clearly, she already has dark hair, but they had her dye her hair blonde, which is so dumb. But like that literally, again, it's like when I talk about the race bending issues with the other characters, that is again the least of the problems.
Like she could be too young, she could be blonde, and if that was all that they did with her, then that would be so
it'd be annoying.
It'd be negligible. It would be negligible because as long as she acts like Halsey, fine. But they randomly they also randomly made her British, even though Cortana is voiced by Jen Taylor, and they made it a point in the games that Cortana has the same voice as Halsey.
Yeah,
because she's literally a digital clone of Halsey. But okay, so even though Jen Taylor is still Cortana, she sounds nothing like Halsey, doesn't look anything like Halsey, and again, that is still Halsey is evil. Like she doesn't even love her Spartans.
No, like that's one of her most defining traits in the books, where she comes to care about them as if they're her own children.
They call her mom.
Yeah.
George called her mom.
Yeah.
They're her mom.
Yeah. And like even the ones that don't like say mom, like she is their mother. She is their mother figure for all of the Spartans. Like that's canon. Like she is their mother figure, and she does genuinely care about them. But in the show, they just completely changed her character to make her evil. She is being written more like 343 era Halsey.
Worse. I would say worse.
Well, yeah, it is worse
because even in 343 era, you can tell she loves John.
Yeah, when even 343 era Halsey is better than this.
Like, but this woman, I do not feel like she loves John like a son, because you can tell Halsey loves John like as if he were her child. She loves him like a son. He is special to her, not just because he's like her best weapon, but because genuinely she loves John. This Halsey erased his memories and is like suddenly like, oh no, when he finds out that she did this thing, and she's constantly trying to cover what she did to him. The real Halsey felt guilty for what she did to John, but adores him and like adores him like as a son. Even though she did horrible things to him and the other Spartans, she adores them. They are her children to her. And she feels remorse for what she's actually done. This Halsey feels no remorse, becomes a straight up evil war criminal. The one good thing is she kind of tried to help Miranda in one episode, because if she's like, oh no, my daughter is like going to die, I better go out and help her. And that's like the only good thing she does in the entire show. And then she goes straight off her rocker at the end of the show, deciding to betray humanity. What? Halsey? The one who did horrible things to save humanity?
It just doesn't make sense.
Like, this woman literally did horrible things that she feels guilt over, immense guilt over, just to save humanity. Like, Halsey cares about humanity, and then she's just like, well, humanity wants to keep stalling my research, so F them all. They should all die. What?
And it's so dumb because she's like, she is the most important person in all of humanity, and they just completely are like, yeah, we're gonna threaten to cut her funding, and we're gonna be really terrible. I'm like, what? You know what? I think that's the only reason that they were doing that in episode 1. They don't respect her or something, and so that's driving her to
Okay, Erodian, who's saying that it's kind of critical she has brown hair. Listen, Erodian, our point is if that was all that was changed about her, it is negligible because the most important part of a character, like I would say the most crucial part of you as a person is not your appearance, but it is your heart, your personality, your mind, your goals, like all that stuff that makes you you. Now, if like say your race or something like that was an important core trait of a character, like like say a character is supposed to be Muslim, like and they like a lot of things is about their religion and how much their religion like carries them through certain things, like certain aspects. Then yeah, suddenly changing a character who's supposed to be Arabian to like let's say suddenly he's Japanese. Well, no, that's no. If you take something that is supposed to be a core aspect of their character, then yes. And while yes, it's important Halsey has brown hair, to me it's far more important that she has her personality traits. The same with Miranda, and we'll get into it later, and Keyes. Like if the only change was that they race bent her, I would be a little bit more forgiving. Or like say with Halsey, if her appearance is wrong, I'd be a little bit more forgiving as long as she acted like Halsey from the games and the books.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bit more forgiving of Miranda if she acted like Miranda, if she was a fleet commander. And if say with Keyes, I'd be a little bit more forgiving if Keyes wasn't being stupid and acting like Keyes.
Yeah, and here's the thing. In Halo Legends, we talked about the package. There was another short. I don't remember which one it was called, but in that one, Halsey also had blonde hair, but she acted like Halsey in that short. So her being blonde, while I think it's dumb, it isn't.
Erodian, I do agree with you, Erodian. He says that Halsey in the show acts more like Paragonsky from like
she
the lore.
really does, because Paragonsky, like actual real Paragonsky, and real Paragonsky is somewhere on this list, but like she is a terrible, awful person who is manipulative. She only sees things,
and the worst part is that was intentional though.
Yeah, she is. It's like Ackerson. It's like she's meant to be seen as this absolute scumbag who she technically has done things to help humanity because she runs like the
necessary
Halo.
Evil.
Yeah, she is a necessary evil. The Shortest Homecoming. Thank you, Ghost. Yeah, that's what it was called. It's been a while since I've watched all of the the shorts in Halo Legends, so I don't remember what all of them were called.
Okay, yeah, Kaneki. Physical accuracy and character accuracy are double package. I agree. I would rather a character be in totality. But if it had to be an either or thing, I would rather the character at least resemble the core traits of their person. Like if I had to be like, well, you only get that they're accurate to their design or accurate to their personality, then I will take their personality every day of the week because if that's what makes the character so endearing to you. It's not what they look like. It's their flaws, their strengths, their story, that like their journey, their personality, their mind, their goals, their dreams, like everything that makes you as a person, your experiences and all that jazz and everything. That's what makes you important. It's not what you look like. Same like with all of us. And it's the same with characters. That's why we connect to characters. That's why Arbiter is top tier. He doesn't look anything like a human, but he's like one of the best written characters I've ever seen. And I just played the game last year, but he's like legit an amazing character. And it's not because of his appearance. It's because of how he's written. And that is what is important. As long as a character is written well, I can at least give some leeway. I'll be willing to be charitable. I would prefer it if you're 100% accurate, but if like I can't have them looking like how they are, then you at least better get the core traits of who they are. That's what made me like them in the first place.
Yes, as I would put it, them getting the physical appearance wrong is a valid criticism, but them getting the character wrong is a far worse sin.
Because it's just that character in name only. Like you fundamentally changed who they are.
Yeah,
like if they're not the same person.
Yeah. Ken Kaneki. Yes, Ken Kaneki is saying they have millions in budget and can't find people that look or act the same, or just rubs me the wrong way, and either strikes me as an agenda.
No, I
agree. Like, look, and we're going to talk about this with Miranda.
But let me put it this way: let's say you had an actress that came in and she acted like she was an okay actress, but she looked just like Halsey. And then let's say this blonde woman came in. She's a little bit too young. Her hair is blonde, but let's say she was perfect. Let's say she nailed all the lines. She was perfect for Halsey. Like she had everything perfect down to a T. Would you be willing to go with the actress that was technically worse than her? Like not worse, like as in she's a bad actress, but she's not as good as this actress. I would rather go for the skill and the talent than the appearance. Like if I had to make a sacrifice, if you had to twist my arm, I've been like, well, if somebody embodies the character better, we could be willing to be flexible.
Yeah.
Same with this race bit Miranda. If they first of all they gave her the right haircut, like I don't know why she has braids, but like if like she was better than any other actress in the room that auditioned for Miranda, and it was like, no, she understands, like let's say she really loved the game, she really loved Miranda, she really like took to heart of who Miranda is and really wanted to do her justice, and I've been like, well, shoot, she's really passionate about it and she really likes this character and she really read the lines really good. Like, I would be willing to be forgiving. I've been like, okay, like at least that's a respect for the source material. That's a respect for the character. And she got hired not by her appearance, but by her skill. And the problem is we know that these people on this show did not even hire these actors based on the fact that they are really good at their job. And that's also insulting to the actors themselves.
Yeah.
They just casted them for their appearance for stupid reasons and not even for like, well, they're the best for this role. Like they earned it. But that's the sad thing. And I feel sorry for the actors in that regard too.
Yeah, because I can imagine like you get this big break, this major project, and
okay, I gotta go. Hang on, I'll be right back. You can talk about this.
All right. Oh, Charlie Spur with a $5 super chat. You are on fire, Charlie. Halsey, do you feel in charge? Superior? Oh, I fund your project, and this gives you power over me? Okay. These Bane memes are hilarious. Our next one up is the spawn of Satan herself, but I'm gonna wait until Angel comes back for us to officially place her, because Quan, oh, it still blows me away that like they made her like the most evil person ever, and then they're like, yeah, but you're supposed to like her. What? Yeah, Chris Sagan. They pretty much turned her into Mother Gothel. Like, and that's the sad part is like the fact that Halsey is this cold and calculating person, but she's also very caring and maternal to the Spartans. Like, she is such a complicated character, and I hate the fact that Karen Traviss did this, where she had characters like spout off about how bad. Hello, welcome back.
But sorry, anyways, keep talking.
Oh yeah, I was talking about like how Karen Traviss wrote Halsey to be like, oh well, she's just this evil mad scientist. They basically made her like Hitler 2.0 when Karen Traviss was writing it, and I'm like, and that's what the show was just kind of taking that and running with it. Like, oh yeah, she just does evil stuff, right? Like that's what Halsey does. I'm like, there's so much more to Halsey. Like,
there is. Halsey's a really interesting, morally gray character, and it's just like, no, who needs nuance?
Our favorite Satan spawn is next.
Forbidden. Top tier. No one tops her. She's forbidden. She is forbidden.
There we go.
She is number one forbidden. There is no contest. Worst character in the history of like a strong female protagonist. Horrible character.
Absolutely the worst. Like, and they made this OC, and they couldn't even make her remotely likable. They just made her like the most evil person in the show. I'm like, but they want
she's morally virtuous, and also her haircut is ugly.
Why would you give her this actress is actually beautiful, and then they give her this horrible haircut that makes her look hideous?
Teela in that stupid Netflix He-Man show with that ugly haircut looks better than this haircut. Like the mullet, the side shaves, and whatever the heck they did to the top of her head.
Yeah, it's
The-
a
what-
mullet with the sides shaved. Like it's
But
combining
the
all
top of
these.
her head almost looks like a buzz.
Look at the top of her head.
Like, what did they do to this woman? Like, what on earth is that? And what's worse, they show a flashback in one of the other episodes. I think it's the Quan Solo episode where she has a flashback, but you see a flashback of her younger self, and it's just the actress as she normally looks. And then they're like, oh, we're going to give her this ugly hair later on. Like, what the frick did you do?
So stupid. Okay, guys, I understand you wanting to put her more in Forbidden, more than Forbidden.
no.
Like she is
No.
top tier.
No,
Forbidden.
top Forbidden. Nobody tops her. She is the worst of the worst out of all the history of Halo characters, the worst. And I would say out of this string of the strong female trademark that they've been doing in recent years in a lot of Hollywood, she's the worst of them. Like when you and Anomaly were reacting to watching it, and Anomaly like started to say she's the worst character I've ever seen, and then he immediately pivoted, being like, hey God, I wouldn't say go that far. We've only like X minutes into this show. I'm like, I've two past Anomaly. No, I'm going to say right now, I think she's the worst character I've ever seen. I'm trying to think of a character I hate more than her. I would rather take Kylo Ren, and I despise him. I would take him over her.
At least Kylo Ren provides memes. She doesn't even give us memes. Like that's how awful she is.
And a terrible haircut. Like at least Kylo doesn't have a bad haircut.
Yeah, like if they just had her have her normal hair, she would at least be pretty while she was also being a scumbag. But like, no, they can't even manage that. They have to make her hideous.
Just, what the heck? Just she's awful. Like I feel like I've spent all my rage. I'm yelling at how much I hate this woman. Not the actress, the character. It's not the actress's fault that this is like one of the worst written characters ever. Like it's not her fault. But I hate Quan. Quan is awful. Like believe me, if this list had a tier lower than Forbidden, Quan would occupy it by herself. But since we don't, she is the top of Forbidden. She is the worst of the worst. Nobody tops her. Nobody.
No. Yeah, so she is the top of the Forbidden tier.
Like I even think Bella Swan is not as annoying as her. Probably because you can there's at least some funny jokes you can make about Bella, like especially in a lot of like memes and parodies. Like I can't think of a single positive thing, not even in a meta sense, that Quan contributes to society. She's awful. I freaking hate her guts. Like if season 2 starts with like Kuktana possessing Chief just shooting Quan in the head, I would cheer and watch the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I hate her that much. She's an awful character. Awful. Maresi. I see the poll.
Tornadic, you don't know Bella Swan?
Oh, you sweet summer child.
I envy you.
Have you ever heard of the cultural, I don't know why it's a cultural phenomenon, of the book series known as Twilight? You know, that little vampire, werewolf, stupid love triangle romance 4-part series book written by a really weird woman named Stephanie Meyer. They had movies. They were bad.
You couldn't escape them. You couldn't escape Twilight.
It was everywhere. I had even friends who were obsessed with it in high school. I hated it.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago when the strength of men failed.
And it was 10 years ago, I believe it was. How old are you? How do you not know what Twilight is? It was always teenage girls and middle-aged moms that were obsessed with it. The middle-aged mom part was weird, but it was bad. But anyways,
this version,
Forbidden.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I would put her below Halsey. She's a terribly written, annoying character. That is not Miranda. Like I said, even with the race bending, that's the That's the least of our problems of with the wrong hair and the race bending. She's just not Miranda. She's not a fleet commander. She hates her mother, Halsey, but she still went to become a scientist. Like what
Well,
even?
Oh, and it's really annoying is that like what they changed from the lore makes their approach even dumber, because in the lore she did resent Halsey, and that's a major reason why she went into the military, to be like her father. So
So she still changed her name to be like her father, but she's a scientist and studying the aliens, and she's not a fleet commander. And she's always whining in the show, like, oh, Halsey's always trying to roadblock me. Well, I invented slipspace. What the frick?
Slipspace has been around for hundreds of years. but
she's just like, where, me. But what about my accomplishments? And then she immediately cucks to freaking Quan, a teenage girl. What do you want? She's a weakling. That is not who Miranda is. Miranda's strong.
There's a reason why
to a teenager.
There's a reason why the real Miranda is in top tier and this Miranda is in forbidden.
Like freaking okay, you know what would have went down in that stupid recording? She would have been like, what if I lied and said this and that? And Quan would just been like, all right, you're an idiot. This whole conversation, by the way, is recorded. I'm uploading this now where you say, what if I lie to all my insurrectionist buddies? And I'll just been like, hey, by the way, look what this girl was going to do. She was going to let you all die and not tell you about the Covenant. Also, it would be used as perfect propaganda for the rest of the UFC. They're like, look at how evil the insurrectionists are. Like, her people were decimated. Her father was killed in front of her. And then they would show an image of General Dad being stabbed. And what does this girl do? Well, I'm going to just say, haha, nope, the UFC did it. And I'm going to let my people die. Yep, insurrectionists are evil, bitter, petty, blah, 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 blah. Like, it would be perfect tool. And like, good going, Quan. But no, this Miranda's stupid and did do that. The real Miranda would have been like, yeah, you're an idiot. No, we're not doing any of that. Or she would have thrown her to the brig and just been like, all right, when you're ready to be like agreeable, like,
yeah,
go have your temper tantrum. We'll come back when you're ready to have an adult conversation.
Yeah. Oh, just a second. I need to go grab some food real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Freaking, she's so terrible. I hate that character. I freaking hate that character, chat. I freaking hate that character so much. I love Miranda, chat. I really do. I think Miranda's a really cool character. She's a fleet commander. She commands a lot of respect. She's no nonsense. Like, she gets things done. She's a little bit risky. Like, there is a thing, in the lore where, like, she kind of, what Halsey considers a suicidal move of what Miranda did, and she was made a fleet commander because of it, where she kind of went all kamikaze or whatever. But Miranda's amazing. Miranda's awesome. Her death in Halo 3 was stupid. That was really dumb. She just shot in the back. Shock value. No, that was dumb. I didn't like that. Miranda's cool, chat. I really like Miranda. Really, really like Miranda. What did they do to you? Look at how they massacred my girl. She's just so wimpy. She's a wimp. She's always constantly crying and whining. She's acting like a child when she's like a woman in her 20s. I don't know how they think that this is a respectable character. I don't respect her.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, what's up?
Did you continue complaining about Miranda?
Yes, I did. I'm bitter. I'm very bitter about what they did to my girl. They massacred my girl. Also keep in mind that they changed her black to virtue signal, and then they made her a weak character. So what does that say of what they think of black women?
Ooh.
I'm just saying, if they want to play the progressive games, you win stupid prizes when you do that. Because she's like the only notable black woman in the show, and then they made her a weakling. Whoops.
Yeah. So, show Paragonsky.
Forbidden. I would put her below Halsey, but above Miranda, because of Miranda's also kind of a really flat character in the show. All she is just whine. Halsey has stupid bickering contests, and she's really stupid in the show. Like, especially when it comes to Mackie, like later on. But like, Halsey's like even more evil than Paragonsky. Paragonsky's just like an ineffectual, like she's like a stupid leader and just whines about Halsey. That's all I have to say about Paragonsky. Show Paragonsky at least. I am hearing a lot of like chip bag sounds.
I am eating burger.
Oh, well, the bag is really noisy.
Sorry.
All right. I think that's all I have to say about Paragonsky.
All right, now we're getting into the Halo War section.
Oh, I haven't actually played Halo Wars, so forgive
All
me,
right.
chat. I that's the one of the games I haven't played yet.
So this is Anders and Cutter in their real designs, not their bastardized Halo War 2 designs.
Yeah.
Yeah. This in fact, fun fact about Anders is that she's actually voiced by the same actress as Mei Ling in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, would you say great?
Yeah. I'd say great. I like her. She's actually in the lore, she's actually was a protege to Halsey, the real Halsey. And because Halo War takes place like in the early years of the Covenant War. So they actually they end up getting stuck in cryo sleep back then. So it's actually interesting.
Sorry, Phoenix is like crawling slowly but surely even more on my bed, like trying to get closer to me. And he keeps putting his head like, and now he's like taking his nose and like throwing my hand over so that way my hand is on his head. Now he's licking me. He's like, "Pay attention to me, mom." Sorry, doggy. I'm sorry. He's so needy. I was giggling because it tickles. Sorry, chat. Continue. I was interrupting.
So this is Captain Cutter. I'd put him in the same tier as Anders. He's great. I like him as a captain. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say, especially without going into the full story. But John Forge.
So would you recommend I play Halo Wars, the first one?
I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're not a fan of RTSs. But I would recommend watching the cutscenes or a playthrough of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So John Forge, I'm going to put in amazing. I actually really like John Forge. He killed the previous Arbiter before Thelvadam back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, and he made a big sacrifice play to fight the Arbiter, even though he was outclassed. And I was just like, what a Chad. What an absolute Chad.
He sounds cool.
Yeah, like there's actually in my rewrite of Halo 4, the new ship that Miranda is on, which is the Forged by Fire. I named it Forged by Fire after John Forge. A little fun fact.
See.
Jenkins!
Zan the Man said Paragonsky. Did you see Zan the Man's comment?
What?
Paragonsky, the Indian Dolores Umbridge.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, the other weird thing is that to pivot back to show Paragonsky, she's supposed to be an admiral, and she doesn't feel like she commands a whole lot of authority. She can't really keep Halsey on a leash. All she seems to do is just kind of whine about how annoying Halsey is to her. Either whenever she's reprimanding Halsey, she sounds more like an annoyed, like it's just like just a lady like that's just annoyed, like talking to like a cashier that got the order wrong. She's just like, you screwed up here. You need to read it. She doesn't feel very authoritative. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the actress's fault. It could just be she got bad direction, but like she doesn't feel like she commands a whole lot of authority. And now I'm not going to put that on the actresses because I don't know how much that is the fault of just the writing and the directing that was given to this actress. But it just didn't feel like I didn't feel like she commanded a whole lot of authority and respect.
No.
She was an idiot. They made her a real idiot, especially when it came to Maquis later and Chief later. Chief tried to kill Halsey like twice, and he's still like not thrown into the brig. They're just like, yeah, just whatever. But sorry, I just had to rant about that about Paragonsky. Like, what the frick? What an idiot.
Yeah. Jenkins. The great soldier Jenkins. He's decent.
Oh, decent.
Yeah, like he's the guy whose helmet Chief found when he first discovers the flood. That was Jenkins' helmet.
Yeah, Jenkins. Okay, yeah, that was his helmet. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
He's a good boy. It's a shame. That scene with the flood, though, that was incredible.
Yeah. Mother effing Avery Johnson goes in.
I would put him a little bit higher, like maybe below Cortana. Because are you kidding me? It's Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson, one of the most popular black men in video game history, and then the TV show said, "Lol,
No.
he's not here." You know what they're going to do? They're going to backpedal and they're going to advertise him for season 2. Like, see,
Yeah.
guys, Johnson's here. We're sorry we didn't put him in season 1, even though he should have been here the whole time. And then they race-bent a couple of other characters who were like really weak characters, and they excluded the real like black character in the Halo games, like one of the most popular characters. Probably like he will always be in a top 5 list in a lot of fans like listings. Johnson is great. I adore him. He knows what the ladies like. And I don't think anybody in chat would disagree that he belongs in S tier.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ghost agrees. Yeah, Ghost, he belongs in S tier. Absolutely. Johnson's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Bradley. Johnson was old. He also was like technically a Spartan 1. He was a member of the Orion Project, which was the first super soldier program before the Spartan 2 program.
Now, Erodian, this is my theory, because Erodian says that they thinks there are no black characters in the game. Well, it could just be that they're stupid, and they never. We didn't even look at the games, but they obviously looked at something because they got some Halo iconography and stuff in there. So it's obviously they looked at some things tangentially. Obviously, my theory. Now, granted, I am completely uncharitable to these people at Paramount Plus because they made this awful show that obviously shows nothing but contempt for the source material. But I think Johnson got in the way of their narrative that we are the ones that are going to fix Halo and make it progressive. Because there already is a black character and a beloved black character that everybody loves. So we're going to get rid of him. And unless, of course, they backpedal and put him in season 2, and then they're going to act like he was always meant to come in season 2. But that's what I think. I think they got rid of him because then they're like, see, we're fixing and making some white characters black. And see, we're the ones that are going to fix Halo, even though Halo wasn't broken. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Johnson already exists, and he's an amazing character. Like, you will never make a character as beloved as him. And that probably really makes them butthurt.
Yeah. Well, and like I said in my video, they could have had the actor for Keyes in the show and the actress for Miranda. And they could have just had them play.
They could totally been like a scientist character and another captain character. And there's a point that I probably wish you would have gone a little bit more in depth on, but that's fine. Your video was long enough as it is. There are so many characters in a lot of media that aren't in the source material that are added it. Like, some people might not know this if you're an MCU fan. Phil Coulson was not in the comics originally. He was an original character they made just to kind of introduce S.H.I.E.L.D., but he was so beloved that he started appearing in other material. Like I even remember he was in some cartoons. Like, Phil Coulson showed up. Like, even in that really bad Spider-Man cartoon, there was Phil Coulson. Like, Phil Coulson became really beloved. Like, you can make a new character that wasn't even in the source material, and as long as you write them well, fans will be accepting of them. One of Batman the Animated Series invented Harley Quinn. She was not a comic book character originally. Everybody adores her, and now Harley's suddenly became DC's new Wolverine, is where they're shoving her everywhere because that's how much fans loved her back in the day.
Yeah.
Like that's a brand new character that Bruce Timm and Paul Dini made. They also made in Superman the Animated Series, Livewire. Yeah, that's her name, Livewire. She's also was a brand new villain for Superman the Animated Series. She also was loved so much that they put her in the comics. Batman Beyond, an entire cartoon that was totally original, not from the comics at all. So a lot of stuff in that was very original. Terry McGinnis, brand new original character. Fans loved it so much it started getting integrated into the DC universe comics. You can make an original character your own brand new character, and as long as they're written well, fans will love them. They will adore them. They will want then they could be like, here's like a Halo Infinite like DLC, like here's some characters you could play like in the multiplayer. Like here's this like this captain character that he's like also like a gunman that you could have there or something like that. There is a lot you could do. And nah.
Yeah,
Nah.
we're just going to replace characters. So you're already going to be fighting an uphill battle with those
And they're in
characters.
name and they're in name only. And to add insult to injury, they replaced Blue Team with Silver Team. So it's like you're already making a bunch of OCs. By that point, why even have them named Miranda and Jacob?
Yeah, it just makes no sense. You should have just made them other characters because they are. They're just entirely new characters that happen to have these names.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's
Just-
stupid. Anyways, Johnson's amazing.
Mm.
Okay, Phoenix, stop it. Get off. Sorry, my dog's like trying to crawl on my keyboard. Stop it. Turning away. You're being naughty. Here's a toy.
All right, our next.
Oh, Lord Hood.
Yeah.
I would say amazing.
Yeah.
Or would you say great?
High
grade. He's either high grade or low amazing.
I think high grade because he is in the games very little. Even in the books, he only appears a few times.
He just makes such a strong impression, like when he shows up, and being voiced by like Ron Perlman, who many fans will know is Hellboy, is Slade in Teen Titans. Look, Ron Perlman might be crazy in real life. I don't care about that. There's a lot of actors who are crazy in real life. Like that doesn't mean anything to me. Just don't follow people on Twitter, guys. Just don't even go to Twitter. But like he's a really good actor, and he just like he's got just like Keith David, he's got one of the coolest voices. And maybe I'm biased, and just because I think he's got like one of the coolest voices to mankind, and he's just so no nonsense, immediately commands respect. He's so good. Just from the second you see him in Halo 2. I get it. He's kind of like a replacement for Keyes. He's like the Keyes replacement after Keyes dies and Combat Evolved. But I think like, unlike Palmer, who's supposed to be a Johnson replacement, Lord Hood does a really good job filling the void that Keyes left behind.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, it makes sense. You would have like a main leader, and he's like the leader of the UNSC. And
unlike Paragonsky in the show, you actually feel like this man commands authority and respect.
Yeah, just in the very beginning, like where you have everyone looks to him for permission. Everyone. and that's why when he goes to Chief and he was like, he's the one who is like, Chief, what are you doing? He's like, I'm giving the Covenant back their bomb.
Oh, yeah, sir, permission to leave the ship. What for? To give the Covenant back their bomb. And then and what's great is like he didn't even have like a whoa or anything. He doesn't even react. He just immediately like accepts the information, knows immediately what Chief's intention is, and he's permission granted. And I'm just sitting there watching this for the first time, like, whoa! Because it's so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
They're both so nonchalant about how the fact they're gonna freaking blow up the fleet. It was so cool. It was so good. It was just like raw, yeah.
Yeah. So very little like time and screen time, but makes a big impact.
Yeah, and that tells you something. I'm gonna go back to because I'm salty about this show. In what little time Lord Hood has, he makes a very, very big impact on the audience. Nothing in just like a few couple of minutes in just Halo 2, I would even say. Like just that little bit in the beginning. There's so much that makes me immediately endeared to him than the entirety of the 9 episodes of the Halo show. Of anybody. I can't seem to think of a single person I like.
Yeah.
Even the characters that are somewhat likable, like that one Spartan that unfortunately got dumped, that Quan got dumped on. he still is kind of stupid. And even that Scottish guy that ends up dying anyway, he still has that stupid line of, I thought it was UNSC propaganda.
I thought it was just UNSC propaganda.
It was just like, you couldn't even let that guy just be cool for a couple of minutes. You had to, like, the show is just, it is addicted to making everyone stupid.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Our next one is OG Trilogy Chief.
Top tier.
Top tier. I'll put him just under the Arbiter because the Arbiter's arc is so good.
The Arbiter's arc is amazing. Like, honestly, I do think that the Arbiter's probably the best written character in Halo. Like, just straight up.
Yes.
Like, he's amazing. I love you, Chief. I adore you. But, like, Arbiter's my boy.
Yeah.
So much that we were playing Halo 3 and you said, like, when we do the co-op and the campaign, one of us is Chief and one of us is Arbiter. And I'm just like, oh, I hope I'm Arbiter. And you're like, well, you're player 2, so you're automatically Arbiter. And I'm just like, I'm Arbiter. I love being Arbiter so much.
So this next character. This is Chief Mendez. He's the guy who did the training for the Spartan 2s. You'll see him in the Fall of Reach. I'd put him in great tier because he is relatively small, but he had a big impact. And you only see him in the books, but he is. I like Mendez. You know, he's the drill sergeant. He takes his job seriously, you know, in training the Spartans. I mean, and again, it's one of those things where I want to go more into it, but then I have to go into all the depth of all the different books and stuff, and then I'm like, all right, we'll just leave it at that. Now, the real Buck, not this guy, no, the real Buck. I'm going to say he is an amazing tier. I really like Buck. Angel?
Freaking, I accidentally hit mute. He deserves to be in top tier. I was like ranting, no, he believes in top tier, and I accidentally hit mute. So chat didn't have the chance to hear that. He deserves to be in top tier. He's Nathan Fillion alone. He deserves to be top tier. But he's also, I adore him in ODST. He's amazing. He's top tier, absolutely top tier.
Yeah, he even has a cameo in Halo Reach if you can find him during the part where you get the jetpack and you're jumping around the city. You can find Buck fighting during the Fall of Reach.
Yeah, I love Buck. Oh, he's just such a good character.
Yeah,
okay. My dog is getting more annoying. I'm gonna freaking like give him a treat or something so he'll stop like nipping at me because I'm not paying attention to him.
Yeah, as Ghost is saying, Mendez, he's immune from Oni and told him to kiss his A. Yeah, he's great. I like Mendez. I just wish we got more of him. Like that was well written of them, like in the Shield world. Yeah, he's also New Alexandria. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. His cameo in Halo Reach. Because Buck is like, he is so good, and I love the story behind how Nathan Fillion got into it. Because he became a huge fan of Halo because he was stuck in the hospital one time, and all he had to do was play Halo Combat Evolved, and he just played it, and he just fell in love, and he loved it so much that when they were making ODST, they got him, and they made his character look like him, and they even got some other guys from Firefly in it, including and we're going into the ODST characters here, so when Angel comes back, we'll start talking about the ODST characters. What can I say? It was a hell of a night. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to remember who voiced who. I remember Dutch was Jane, the man they call Jane. He robbed from the rich and he gave to the poor. He stood up to the man and he gave him one for it. Our love for him now ain't hard to explain. The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane. ODST was like a Firefly reunion. It was great. Oh yeah, I forgot that Romeo was voiced by Nolan North. And Wash voices Wash is the character from Firefly, but Wash is man, I'm trying to remember of who he voiced. He was Mickey, wasn't he? Let me look this up. Voiced by
Sorry, he had zoomies. I had to like let him just run it out. He was going bonkers.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So we are getting into the ODST characters. So first up, we have Dare.
She's amazing. High amazing, I'd say.
Maybe not. Yeah, not as much as Gravemind. I like her relationship with Buck. Like, it's
that
like
shut up kiss she gives him like near the end.
Yeah, she's just like, "You idiot! I hate you." Then she kisses him. Well, and
Chad.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Well,
she shut up kissed Nathan Fillion, Chad."
Yeah.
Dare's great. Dare's a fantastic character.
Dutch. He's also voiced by was it Adam Baldwin? He was Jane on Firefly.
Oh.
Yeah. I always loved how when you play as him at his level that you crash the truck and he's just like, "Lord, I never wanted to be a pilot." Because he flew the Jeep and it like was flying through the air. He's like, "I never wanted to be a pilot. Please tell me I don't have to do that again." And then it explodes behind them and he's like, "So is that a yes or a no?"
Yeah, Dutch is good.
Yeah.
Not as amazing as Dare. I still love Dare more.
Yeah, so this is was it Mickey? I think that was Mickey.
Yeah.
I get it's Mickey. And because he's voiced by Alan Tudyk and he also pilots the ship. Of course, because they got Wash to pilot the ship.
Yeah.
And I liked him. It's like they don't spend as much time with them as they do with like Dare and Buck, because they're really the main characters of it, even though Rookie is the protagonist. These two are the main characters of the ODST story.
Yeah.
And then you got Romeo.
Romeo's good.
Yeah.
I say all the ODST characters are like top tier, amazing tier. They're all like in that range.
Yeah. And then we have Rookie, who
my baby.
I love. It's so funny how they characterized him. You want to talk about characterization without one, voice lines, and two, a face. They characterize Rookie so much in just his cutscenes when
but you can't have an audience connect to a character if you can't see their face.
I love Rookie so much.
If you say that, then you need to turn in your Halo fan card. Like, because you do not understand Chief, and you especially disrespect the Rookie.
Yeah.
And Rookie didn't even talk. I love Rookie. Rookie's my baby. He's so good.
Yeah, and I like how he goes on this like he's like this detective piecing together everything using like Sherlock level deductions of what happened, and because everything is from his perspective, and he's like figuring out what happened, and that's when you flash back to the playing, and he just like he touches the ground, and he's like, "There was a great battle here." I can sense. It was practically
if Sherlock Holmes was an ODST.
Yeah,
he didn't talk.
Yes. Oh, and Virgil from ODST.
Amazing. Yeah, Virgil's amazing.
I really like Virgil, like the idea that you never really get to see like these other aliens, the engineers. Like you kind of think like, oh well, they're just there to
I liked whenever we had to protect Virgil. It was like one of the few times where I wasn't annoyed by an escort mission.
Yeah, especially because he gave you shields when you were around him.
Yes, extremely helpful. Virgil is extremely helpful. Anytime you have a character that's extremely helpful when they're like your escort stuff, like for example, I know some Bayonetta fans don't like Loki because he's like a little snot in the beginning, but I actually like he really grew on me. One, Bayonetta doesn't take his little attitude, and two, like he's actually helpful. Like unlike Cereza and Bayonetta 1, which we adore Cereza. She's baby. She's adorable. But the problem is like you have to like put a shield on her because if not, like she can't defend herself. She's just a little girl. But Loki, he can actually defend himself. So you can even as Bayonetta, like if you need to step back a little bit, like suddenly like you're having a little hard time with like an angel or a demon or something, like you can like run off and like Loki will still be attacking the background. And then that monster can be distracted long enough to turn to Loki, and then you could turn around and like just do an amazing sneak attack combo on it. And then, but granted, you can't let Loki die, obviously, but it's just like it's always so nice when you have an escort mission, but the character is actually extremely helpful and not making the escort mission tedious and annoying. And you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Poor Ashley. Leon!
Yeah. Well, this is why I really liked playing Resident Evil 4 after getting the armor for Ashley, because then she becomes the most useful thing in the face of the planet because she aggroes all enemies, and then she's invincible and they can't even pick her up.
It's insanely hilarious. But yeah, certain like in Skyward Sword, that one robot thing. Oh, he's so annoying. That fee simp, whatever his name is, I forgot his name already. I hated that escort mission. I hated that thing. I wanted it to blow up.
Yeah.
It was so annoying. Like that. I hate things like that where they cannot like they are so like they are the load, as it was called. Like they are just nothing but a burden to you, and protecting them is annoying. Like Virgil is not one of them. Like Virgil is helpful. Like Coleman said, he gives you shields. Like Virgil, I like him. He's a good egg.
Yes. So up next is actual real Paragonsky.
I would put her in the same vein as Ackerson, because like she's detestable, but she's intentionally so. So
Yeah.
she like serves the story's function exactly like the writers intended for everything, and she serves her role exactly as needed.
Yeah. Yeah, and she also fulfills a good role of the, you know, what are the real like black ops going on with the thing. And it's like, and it's what we described earlier is she is a necessary evil. Like she's willing to do horrible stuff to help humanity, but she is also petty and vindictive, and she hates Halsey because, you know, she can't control Halsey. She doesn't...
No, Ronan. He's not Loki, as in the Norse god Loki.
Bayonetta, while it references Norse mythology, it has its own like.
There's some spoilers regarding his character, but the reason he's just called Loki is just to reference the fact that he's very mischievous, like the character in Norse mythology. But he's not that Loki. Like that's the most I will say about him.
Yeah. Okay. The Prophets.
Oh boy.
Yeah, okay. So this is Mercy. The old one. And
I always remember that scene where the flood is like wrapping around his throat, like killing him, and Chief just like casually
like yanks it off of him.
Yeah, like, but you know, because Chief really doesn't care what happens to him, but he's on a mission. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was so good.
So where to put the Prophets? Because I feel like they.
Well, Truth has to be higher than the other two. Like, absolutely. I would say high decent or low great. I feel like Regret makes a stronger impression than Mercy, though, does. Then again, Mercy still had some good scenes, though, in Halo 2, like in the beginning with Arbiter.
Yeah.
Maybe low great? He had some good... Wasn't it Mercy who said the council will have their corpse? Or is that Regret? No, I think that was Mercy who said that.
Let me check.
Because I'm pretty sure Regret was... Because Regret was like leaving to invade Earth.
Okay, Prophet of Mercy. The tasks you will take as the Arbiter are
Yeah, okay,
perilous,
okay.
suicidal. You
I-
will die as each Arbiter before you. The Council will have their...
Okay, that line was pretty raw. I think he deserves to be at least low grade. Like, even
Yeah.
if he's like a pathetic character, like that was such a raw line. The council will have their corpse. Like, gosh dang, that's
Yeah.
that's
So-
such a good line for a villain.
Yeah. Okay, so here we have Truth and
Truth should be amazing because he is a good villain.
yeah,
Like, he's so detestable, but the right kind of maybe like just one below Gravemind, I would actually say, because I think Gravemind's cooler than him.
oh yeah, Gravemind is like the real like final antagonist. But for all intents and purposes, Truth is like the major antagonist of the series of the original trilogy.
It definitely is like the Kickstarter for everything for Arbiter's story.
Yeah. And
Arbiter's like the best character of all time.
Yeah, that is Regret.
I say Regret deserves to be a little bit above Mercy for the sole fact that I know has nothing to do with Regret, but Johnson's line about Regret.
You regret. Yeah.
Regret.
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards, and we regret that you blew up our Raggedy A fleet. Oorah.
Hoorah! I know that's not a line said by him, but like one of my most memorable like lines from Johnson came like from the sole fact of Regret coming to Earth. Like, so I feel like Regret deserves, and he kick-started a lot of the plot for Halo 2, for at least on the human side. Because if had Regret not done that, then the humans wouldn't have ever ended up on the Halo.
Yeah. Okie dokie, we are in the Halo Reach. We are in Noble Team now.
Oh, yay!
So here, first up is Carter, the leader of Noble Team.
I would say definitely. I would not put him anywhere below great. He's somewhere great or above. He's a good character.
I think I'll put him
maybe above Ackerson.
Yeah, just below Paragonsky, because Paragonsky is, I think, too important.
Yeah, she's extremely important.
Yeah, and I think Kat's
a really good character. I would put her above the Prophets at the least.
Yeah. Then Emil.
And also another strong female character that already existed in Halo.
Yeah. So Emil, I have to put Emil a little bit higher, if only for the fact that he goes down swinging against like 3 elites.
His death was insanely awesome. He's so cool.
No, I'm gonna put him. I'm putting him above.
Yeah, putting him. I think it's fair to put him above Ackerson.
Yeah. I always loved his personality. I love how he carved a skull into his faceplate. He's just like, I'm gonna look terrifying. And George, okay, George is
amazing. I love George.
I'm gonna I'll put him in top tier. He is fantastic. Oh, Charlie Spur with a $20 super chat.
Happy birthday to Cool Man.
The council was overzealous in the council was overzealous in their decision. Halo's loss was your error, but we know you are no heretic. This is the true face of heresy. Those who would subvert our faith and stoke rebellion against us.
For those who have never played the Halo games, that is a really cool line from Truth.
There are a lot of good lines.
Yeah. Halo is filled with them.
Okay, June.
Yes, George, but you were saying about George before the super chat came in.
Yeah, George is great. And apart from being the only Spartan too, he's also the one who's got the biggest heart. And he's the one who is the nicest of all the Spartans. And I love how you see he's just so confident the whole time, but when he goes to Halsey and she's just like, "What did you do to my armor?" And he kind of gets bashful and he's like,
"I'm so sorry, Mom.
I made some modifications."
I'm sorry, Mom. Like, don't be mad at me, Mommy. But George is great. He's such a softie. I love him, but he's like strong. And his death actually like made me the saddest.
Yeah,
Halo Reach.
That's why I use that moment for the picture. That's him throwing Noble 6 out.
it broke my heart too because of like like he believes he's dying to save Reach and that he succeeded in doing it.
And
And
then
when you know he's not going to be because Reach falls, and that's what makes it so sad. But his sacrifice was extremely noble, and it's like not like it wasn't a well thought out decision. Like if I do this, then like the through line is that oh yeah, this will succeed. We'll save the day. Unfortunately, the Covenant's got more coming to you.
yeah,
And
Ghost.
George couldn't have known that. George wouldn't have known that.
No,
Like,
it's
and
that they didn't even get the slip space, anomalies until after he died, and then the fleet moved in.
by all intents and purposes, George did succeed. He defeated had like that not happened, George would have like won the day for all of them, and his life like become a martyr to save everybody else. But unfortunately, they could have not foreseen that the Covenant was planning to hit them even harder, and that was just phase 1 of their assault.
Yeah, and Ghost. Listen, Reach has been good to me. Time to return the favor. Don't deny me this.
Xanthan Man, I'm sorry, mommy. Please don't punch me.
Bradley Rutledge. He says, "What are my thoughts on the Halo fan comic, Fistful of Arrows?" I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of that, so I don't actually have any opinion on it.
I haven't heard of it either, so I'm afraid I can't give commentary either.
Yeah.
Next up,
June, the sniper.
June's good.
Yeah, I like it. I'll put him maybe
great,
a little
good.
Mid great. It's funny because I actually remember not liking him when I first played Halo Reach back when it came out, and that was only because when I was playing the sneaking mission, like for some reason when I played it the first time with my buddies, his AI glitched out and he just started blasting his sniping rifle and it alerted everyone, and I was just like, what? But then after I replayed it, I was just like, okay, no, I like June. He's just he's maybe a little bit underdeveloped compared to the other ones, but he is also the only one who makes it out of Reach alive because he went to defend Halsey.
Yeah. The last one standing.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad he lost all his friends.
Yeah. Well, that's actually something you could really develop, to really like, because he like Noble Team were filled with a bunch of Spartan 3s who managed to keep surviving, and then he ends up losing them all in like one day, or in like a week or so.
It's really sad. I mean, you knew that was going to probably be the fate, or some or all of them, from Halo Reach, because we know what happens to Reach just by virtue of the lore. But it's just it's just sad because you get to attach to these characters, but they're all like they're pretty much their days are numbered.
Yeah. So now we have Noble 6.
I like Noble 6.
I like Noble 6.
I remember whenever I was just like, he's probably going to die from this moment. And then I assumed, I'm like, oh, okay. So the last shot, he's just going to be looking at the horizon as the Covenant glasses everything. And you're just sitting there like,
Yeah, and I wanted you to get to the end where you play as him while Reach is being glassed, and it just says survive.
Like that's all your prompt is. And all you got is like just your limited ammo. There's no more ammo you could run around and find to reload. You no health packs. You just survive as long as you can. And I knew he was gonna die. I knew Noble 6 was gonna die. I knew that going into it. And it's still like, even as that cutscene enters where like I die, all those elites are jumping him, and I'm still just sitting there like, well, maybe he can still be okay. I didn't actually see him die. The camera pivoted.
This is how Noble 6 can still make it.
Poor Noble 6.
Yeah. Oh, Xanthan Man.
But it was raw too, where it's just like it's compared to the other guy, the skull guy. I suddenly forgot his name.
Emil.
Yes, Emil. Thank you. Suddenly, I just had a brain fart. But it's like, because he took out all the leads before he went out swinging. You're having Noble 6 going out swinging but you get to play him going out swinging. I think that's such a neat idea to have a character like have a warrior's death, like in a story where it's like, all right, he's gonna die, but like just try to see how long you can make him live, because he's gonna die no matter what. There's gonna be constantly enemies coming at you, and there's nothing you could do about that. So just how long can you make him last until he breathes his last?
Yeah, and I love how when you start taking more damage, like your visor starts to crack, and then if you take enough damage, your HUD disappears, and it's just like, oh, I love that. It's just
Zam the Man actually. Before I even got into Halo, every time Cool Man like rants about Halo, because he always somehow got into Halo anytime, a lot of stuff flew over my head. But often one of the things he said is he compared Rogue One to Halo Reach, like in terms of like how it's like structured and storytelling wise, and like one by one the characters die.
Yeah, I think it's such an apt comparison because it's also a direct prequel to the original story.
Well, yeah, and even the way that the Death Star plans are passed off before like they flee, the same way Cortana is before they flee.
Yeah, like there are a lot of parallels you can find between them.
And it's not like I doubt anyone in Lucasfilm looked at a video game and was inspired by that. It's just one of those things in sci-fi and storytelling in general, where, pass the baton. It's kind of like that style. Like you've seen that in more than one story, but it's just like there is some parallels there. And I when I finally played Halo Reach, I understood like what Cool Man was talking about. I was like, oh, this is why you keep comparing it to Rogue One. It's like, it's legit, like good. For Rogue One, it's the only good Star Wars movie. The only difference is Reach was the last thing Bungie did rather than being like a one good thing that 343 did. But it's, I made Halo 4 fans mad. I'm teasing you, Anomaly. I love you. But like, Rogue One was good. Reach was really good. Gameplay wise, I think Reach was my favorite one to play as them, whereas story wise, Halo 2 is my favorite. Like I really enjoyed Reach, like when we were playing through the campaign co-op, especially anytime like one of us found the orbital drop thing, and I was just like, "Ooh, I want to try it. Gimme.
Yeah. So our next character is Tom. He was the original Noble Six before our Noble Six. There's actually a trailer where you can actually find how he died, because he goes onto a Covenant ship bringing a mini nuke, and he runs it straight into the middle of this Covenant Corvette.
That's awesome.
And he throws it into the middle, and he tries to run out, but it's a nuke and he can't outrun it.
Yeah.
So he gets caught in the explosion, and that's how he died. And then that's why our Noble Six, was brought in as his replacement.
That's the one thing I did like, is how like Noble Six had to earn his way onto the team, because they were all really bitter, because they're just like, Noble Six didn't do anything wrong, but it's like they lost their guy, and this guy literally is just the replacement. Just like, you're not a real Noble Six.
Yeah, well, it's like when Carter, one of the first things he says to him, he says, "You got big shoes to fill, and those are shoes that some of the others would prefer wouldn't be filled."
And what a great first impression to like build up the previous Noble Six.
Yeah, like this dude was like the best of the best, and everyone loved him. And
it casts such a shadow on your character, so it gives you a goal, not only just to achieve your objectives, but to kind of earn like the respect of the team.
Yeah, and even though Noble Six is like one of the most lethal Spartan 3s, they're like, yeah, even though you have a really good track record, we still think you're not as good as our old guy. Like,
you're not our buddy. You're not our real one.
Yeah.
But like he earns his way. So I think that's good storytelling. I like it.
Yeah. Ratas.
One Jaw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or wait, I don't think that's his fan nickname. I think I got that wrong, and people are going to kill me for it. But I like him. He's so cool in Halo 2. Like when you first meet him.
I love his like relationship with
I think he should be just below Guilty Spark, I think.
Yeah. He is so cool. I like how when his first conversation with Arbiter is, he's like,
These
you
are
can tell
my
he's
men.
a good commander, and you can tell he cares about his men.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, these are my men. They follow me. I care about their lives. I do not care about yours. He says that makes two of us.
But what's great is because that's another story where Arbiter eventually earns his respect. But you can tell like he's dedicated to the Covenant's cause. He's dedicated to so yeah, the Covenant. It's so great because we're seeing things now from the Covenant's perspective. So even though they were like they're the bad guys, but it's just like but you see there's even like there's honor codes amongst a lot of them, and he's like so cool. He really cares about his soldiers. He's a good leader. He commands such respect and authority. He's competent. He's intelligent, and he's deadly.
Yeah,
And he's got a great design with the part of his jaw missing. Like, on that elite design. It's so like it's immediately striking.
Yeah, he's been through crap, and he still has absolutely zero damage to his pride.
Like, he is definitely a true warrior. I like him a lot. Who do we got next?
We have
Half-Jaw. Thank you, Half-Jaw. I don't know why I said one jaw. I'm stupid. Don't worry, chat. Like I'm stupid.
Oh, Kurt.
I'm new to the fandom. Like, please forgive me. I'm very new to the fandom. I just started playing the games last year.
Okay, Kurt.
Kurt.
He is in Ghosts of Onyx. I really like his character a lot.
Fair enough. I haven't read Ghost of Onyx yet, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he's a Spartan 2 who was at one point a member of Blue Team.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically the guy who trains the Spartan 3s.
Oh.
Yeah. And here we have Tartarus.
Tartarus is a fantastic character. He's either high great or maybe low to mid amazing. It's hard to figure out where to put him. He's still a really good character.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I think he deserves to be a little bit higher. I like him as a villain more than I do a lot of. As much as I love the characters in Reach, I would even say I would put him above Paragonsky.
Yeah, because you actually get to see him in the game, even if he's only in Halo 2. It's like it's funny
because
he's
in Halo 3. Don't you fight or maybe I'm thinking
no, you fight him at the end of Halo 2.
Oh, I'm thinking I don't.
I was gonna be like, wait a minute, what? Like he dies in Halo 2.
Chat, I'm sorry, chat. I had like maybe 2 hours of sleep last night, so I'm trying. I'm trying really hard not to be stupid.
Yeah, I always loved the fact that he has this smug attitude with his conflict with
Well, yeah, because he has the favor of the prophets. He also, as somebody in chat pointed out, Zan the Man, Tartarus is voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, another guy with a really cool voice.
Yeah, it's like we're just going to get Steve Downs, Kevin Michael Richardson, Keith David. It's like all these guys,
like all these dudes with these really cool voices.
Yeah, Bungie knew what they were doing when they casted these characters.
Tartarus also makes such a strong first impression because you could tell he's in on the fact that the Covenant's gonna stab Arbiter in the back, but he's not in on the truth of everything. And he's also very dedicated to the cause. He's smarmy, he's a dick, but he's loyal, very loyal to the prophets and to the religion.
Yeah, and I actually even kind of felt bad for him at the end when Arbiter is trying to explain to him that the prophets are lying, and he's just like, Tartarus, the prophets lied to us. And he's like, you can tell that there's this moment where he's like listening, but he doesn't want
pure denial and just like rage and lashes out at Arbiter. And his boss fight was very. I remember we died a couple of times when playing together. We were like, no, dang it, because he smacks us off the edge. And we
hits the hammer, and you just go flying.
They're just like, no, crap. It's a good boss fight. That's why I keep thinking about how his boss fight was so great and like how the Didax annoys me. That's why I'm like, I want to go back and fighting Tartarus. Tartarus was a good, challenging boss fight. And plus he's just such a well-written villain. I like him. He's good. Yeah.
So now what we have left.
I would say
The weapon is sh-
she's. I would
The-
say if we put her in annoying tier, she's above Halo 4 Chief because at least she made that really good cringe face meme.
yeah, she's come on.
Maybe you need to move Chief.
Yeah. Yeah, like she is a worthless character who is just there to literally be a replacement Cortana, despite the fact that that's not how you don't just replace a smart AI. But the only good thing she ever did was create the cringe face meme. That's it.
Hang on, two good things. She was perfect for protecting you from copyright.
That is true. She shields us all.
I mean, she's kind of annoying, but like she's not as annoying as other characters in the 343 era. And yeah, she gave us this meme.
Yeah.
It was a good thumbnail. You forbidden. Now the debate is she worse chat than Chief in the show, or is Chief in the show worse than her? Because none of them are worse than Quan. Quan's the worst. But Coolman and I are not sure if she's worse than like because of them they're like, well, Chief did this and this was stupid, but Cortana did this and that was stupid. But this is evil. This is it's hard. I don't know if they're tied or which is hard because you can't make them tie on these tier lists. Like one of them it has to be the worst one.
I would say that.
Well, we already got 2 votes that Cortana's worse.
Yeah, I'd say she's worse. I mean, she also is in control of Chief now, so if Chief
she's now in control of his dead body. She might redeem herself if she kills Quan in season 2. Soccer mom Tana. That's funny, Zendavid. I call her Cuck Tana because of hey chat. I'm surprised Mackie's not on this list. She would be forbidden tier.
Oh gosh dang, I forgot Mackie too. Well, whatever. She's forbidden.
She's a really stupid Covenant human character that should not exist at all. It's in Cool Man's rant. So cool. Master Chief and freaking Mackie had sex. And since Cortana's like a part of Chief's brain, what? But that stupid thing. Cortana is watching them have sex with this really weird, confused but sad expression. They literally cucked Cortana.
It's so weird. It's weird. It's weird.
So weird. Why the frick? And then Chief dies and lets Cortana take over his body. He literally like kills himself and just like, but you could save them. You could do it. Like, I can't do it, but you could. And then he lets himself die and lets Cortana just take over his body completely. And then Cortana makes Chief act like Chief more in the games by being stoic and quiet and just efficiently killing everything. And I'm like, is this going to be your way? Being like, haha, now we're actually going to have Chief for the games? F you!
Yeah, Erodian. Yes, everything we're talking about here, that actually happens in the show. Like, that's not a joke. That's not a meme. That literally is what happens.
Hey, Erodian, there's this guy named Desperu. He's never even played the Halo games, so he's probably the least biased person and gives you just a beat-by-beat review for each episode of the show because he's not played the games. So this is somebody going in fresh and has never played the games and despises the show, and he just gives you complete beat-by-beat of how stupid the show is. Or you could go to Night's Watch. It's the podcast channel for Shadowversity. Him and his buddies break down each episode as well, and his friends, especially Oz, they have played the game, so then you could get it from a game fan's perspective of how stupid it is. But yes, all that garbage happens in the show. It's trash. I hate it. Garbage. Kill it with all the fire.
Yeah.
I hate it. This is why I'm just like, pretty much everybody in the show was going to be in forbidden tier. Listen, as bad as a lot of things are in 343, you are not the show. Notice how the 343 characters are low forbidden tier. Like, they actually managed to invent things that are worse than freaking Didac. And evil Cortana. The Cortana in the show might be more evil than Cortana in the games.
Yeah.
Because in this Cortana, they're trying to play her up as that she's not evil. Like, they think she's in the right for a lot of things that she does. And also, at least Halo 5 Cortana is blue. They just kind of gave her a blue outfit and blue hair and just called it a day.
This looks so bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
This is the one character that should just be straight up CGI, and they were like,
and she's voiced by Jen Taylor, but she doesn't even voice Cortana in the way Jen Taylor does it because they specifically wanted her to voice it in a different way. She's like Siri, but like obnoxiously like pleasant, like if Siri's trying to be pleasant, but it's very robotic, but robotic pleasant. But she doesn't realize how evil and crazy she sounds half the time. Like, why doesn't he let me take over his body? I don't understand. He's just being so unreasonable. Why does he not listen to me? Like, what the frick? You're mad that he won't just die for you so you can take him over? And then that happens anyway.
Well, and what's even weirder is that, like, they don't even have her voiced by the actress who plays Halsey. Like, that would be a change I would understand in live action if you have the actress who plays...
It's even more insulting because if we see Cortana's face all the time, whereas Chief, you're not supposed to see his face. The one character who Steve Downes could do, because if he's supposed to wear his helmet the whole time. And then they're like, no, we're gonna get Jen Taylor for the games, but she's not gonna act like how Jen Taylor normally does in the games. We're gonna completely make her like not Cortana. That is not, you were not my Cortana. Hashtag not my Cortana.
You are not affiliated with me.
I love Cortana. How dare you? There. Okay, I got that off my chest.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all the characters that I had. That's like over 60 characters that we've sorted here.
We forgot Mackie. Heaven forbid we forgot the stupid freaking OC. Do not steal. She's a special chosen one, just like Chief, and she was like raised by the Covenant to be like their blessed one. But actually, we were actually using her the whole time. They backpedaled in the last episode. We were actually just using her, even though we treated her like a queen, even though when they should have treated her like the slave at the very least. Even though they wouldn't do that, they would just straight up kill her. She goes against their entire religion. And then she gets to like fall in love with Chief, like after like knowing him for like at best a day. Sure, like here's this covenant, like she came out of this covenant vessel. We don't know anything about her. Let's just let her have access to everything. And also let's just let Chief like go on a date with her and have sex with her. What the frick?
It's weird.
Like, I would say this is bad fan fiction, except that would imply that these people who wrote this show are fans.
Yeah.
Anyways, the show sucks. Happy birthday, Cool Man.
Yay, happy birthday to me.
But thanks for coming for the stream, guys. It was like over 2 hours and 40 minutes. Holy cow, you guys are like legends.
Yeah, actually, we have 11 people watching. Wow, that's great. I honestly didn't expect this many people to come in at such a short notice.
Yeah, like it was a very short notice. I apologize for the short notice as well, guys. Like I was just like, hey, Cool Man, we could like do this thing for your birthday.
I'm like, that sounds fun. I'm like, yeah. And I'm glad we did. I'm really glad we did this.
It's okay, Vids. You can go back and watch the rest of it. If it's like, oh man, I just missed it. It's like, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna take the stream down. You can watch it. Like once we end it, you can literally just start it from the beginning.
But yeah, everybody in the chat, all of you, right now, say happy birthday. I want to see a bunch of happy birthdays in the chat. A lot of them. A lot more. Come on. More happy birthdays. Everybody spam it right now. Even if you already said it, do it. That's an order. Oh, but very quickly, is there any birthday gifts that you got, Cool Man, that you loved?
Oh, someone actually did get me Final Fantasy X 10-2.
I wasn't saying kill me, but okay. I was like wanting to see if anybody else got you anything cool, but all right, yeah, sure, gas me up.
Yeah. I mean, I got some gift cards, but other than that, I didn't really get any specific gifts.
How about we state the coolest gift I got you then? The knife.
Oh yeah. Oh, I actually have that right here. Actually, I can't show it because it's not on camera, but it's a Legend of Zelda pocket knife.
Okay, guys, it's a big knife. It's a
Yeah.
switchblade knife, and I found it like on Etsy. This guy like makes weapon stuff, like, and I thought like, okay, cool man's a dude. Dudes like dude things, which knives are. I'm like, it'd be like, but it's a nerdy dude thing.
Yeah.
Because we both love Zelda, and like it's a self defense item. Like like if you want to have a self defense item, how about a nice fancy like Zelda themed one?
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
really nice. It feels kind of hefty too. Like it's not a tiny knife. Like the knife is as long as like your index finger.
This is not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah, that's not a knife. That is a knife.
Oh yeah, and then our friend Julie got him a nice like
Commission.
commission. And then of course we can't forget our beloved Charlie, who gave you quite a bit of money, so you could probably go buy yourself something nice yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. That is absolutely wonderful. You are amazing.
Charlie himself probably funds you more than the monetization you get from your YouTube videos.
He really does. Like with the views I get, like I'll get like maybe a total of like $14 a month. And then there's Charlie like, oh, $5 super chat, $5 super chat, $5 super chat, $20 super chat. It's just like it's crazy.
This is why Charlie is the financier.
Yeah, he's the financier. Love you too, Charlie.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming last minute. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, this turned out really well. I know it was just a real casual stream and we weren't like covering anything, but this was good. I had a lot of fun today.
And thank you for all the little happy birthday messages. You guys are great.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't really have anything else to add.
Yeah.
I think we'll just awkwardly end it here.
Yeah, so thank everyone for coming. That was really fun, and I'll see you guys next time.
Mwah! Love you all.